basis of its economic growth. The government has pushed that recently. Also, demand within the country has been quite sluggish, quite low, and so imports aren't growing nearly as much as exports, and so the surplus is the difference between the two, and so that's exaggerated it. And the third reason is that Donald Trump, coming into office in America, has threatened to impose tariffs on Chinese goods. A lot of exporters are just getting their exports into America particularly before that might arise.
Sales of all types of electric vehicles rose more than 40% in China last year, even as sales of gas-powered vehicles saw a decline. China's exports of passenger cars jumped by almost 20% to almost 5 million vehicles. The China Association of Auto Manufacturers reported sales up 4.5%. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Last week's funeral for Jimmy Carter highlighted an unlikely friendship with a political rival.
Jimmy Carter and Gerald Ford were political rivals, with Carter defeating Ford in the 1976 presidential election. But they did not remain rivals.
Little could I know that the outcome of that 1976 election would bring about one of my deepest and most enduring friendships.
That's Stephen Ford, the son of Gerald Ford, reading his father's eulogy at Carter's funeral.
Jimmy and I forged a friendship that transcends politics.
The unexpected friendship was another glimpse inside the exclusive Ex-President's Club. Greg Clugston, Washington.
It's likely to be a slow open on Wall Street. Dow futures pointing down. They're off by 20 points. NASDAQ futures off by almost 200 points. You'll find more of these stories at townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Bob Agnew.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Monday, everybody.
Yep.
It's Monday.
It's the Monday thaw out. We all made it through the ice storm.
Yeah, it's still chilly. I mean, if you're looking for warmth, it's still like 40s, like a good hunk of the week.
Yeah, it ain't pleasant, but I mean it's thawed. It's thawed out.
And I didn't hear anything about moisture, so
no
snow or rain or nothing. So I think we could use that for But happy Monday.
Indeed.
I'm a little happy. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm a little happy.
I heard.
Yeah.
I heard it's been he's talked about nothing but it since he got here.
I've been dealing with suckdom for 25 years.
I completely understand. I mean, I don't. I'm a Packers fan, but I empathize.
Yeah, what do you have? One season, one time.
It's been a while, yeah.
Although I do remember some 80s years when the Packers were
I wasn't
pre-Favre.
They didn't have my backing at that point.
Don Majkowski, there was a year there of him where I think he was good, but there was a lot of stinkdom in between. Mm-hmm. There was a period of the 80s where Packers weren't so hot.
Oh, yeah. But you got to go a ways back to find it.
It was. That was the NFC East years when they were dominant in the 80s, when it was either the Redskins, the Giants, or the Cowboys. And then San Francisco would throw in there. So it would be like those four teams were trading off Super Bowls for about 10 years there. So, but because if you remember, I remember.
Pepperidge Farm
members. The NFC East dominated for a good 10-year run, and the NFC in general won the Super Bowl like 30 straight years in a row or something, or 20-something. It was a long time. The AFC ain't seen a Super Bowl, and it was there in the 80s. It was a long time, but I don't remember the numbers, but it was a long time. And it was, I think it was start like around 80 when the 49ers beat the Bengals, and then it went on a run, and the AFC didn't see a Super Bowl for a while after that. So, but anyway, yes, I'm happy because my team sucked for 25 years, and the part that makes me so happy is this isn't like, I don't think this is a one and done situation. Mm-hmm. Like, I think they built a team that's going to be relevant for years. Like, I'm not going to go as bold as say they're going to be the next Chiefs or Patriots and win the next 7 Super Bowls or whatever that those teams are doing. But
they've put enough pieces in place that moving forward it's going to start coming together.
The potential's there, absolutely. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of it lies in their quarterback and Jaden Daniels. If they hit the gold mine with him, which it feels like year one he has. Mm-hmm. Of course, we got a year 2. There's always that sophomore slump, so we got to see how. And they're going to be throwing all kinds of arrows at him. They already are. They bounce off of him like Teflon. It just kind of. But that's the thing that gets me about this kid. You can't get him off his game. Mm-hmm. He's literally been put on the biggest stages possible in sports almost.
That's true.
And he acts like he's a 10-year veteran in these situations. He's just built different, man. He's just like everybody's like in this moment and he's happy and he's celebrating and everyone's like, yeah, you just won this. He's like, yeah, we got next week. But he's not mean about it.
No, but he's focused.
He's like, look, I'm very happy and I'm all this. Mm-hmm. He goes, but I ain't here to win this game. I'm here to win the next game and then the next game. And he keeps it like that and he talks like that. And he no 23-year-old kid or 4-year, whatever old he is, doesn't talk like that. They just don't.
Right.
And
it'll be interesting to see. I mean, the wild card round that went down yesterday. I mean, you guys squeaked it out. I got to say against.
They squeaked it out all season. Yeah. That's just it. They donked a Hail Mary against the Bears. Mm-hmm. They donked a kick last night. They beat This is what they do.
It's true.
This man the fourth quarter hits and this man turns into a winner. I mean he's a winner all the time, but he's he his stats for fourth downs and the last play, the last chance, and doing it, his stats are unbelievable.
I'm a big hairy winning machine. I can't help it.
Exactly. That's what he is, man. You just and if you're a fan of him, you love it. But if you're not, oh man, he's gonna be hated.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna eat your lunch for years to come. And Philly fans are salty because, and this what makes me laugh, they are so chirping because their team's number one and they're doing all this
knocked
and they're
us
still
out
winning
yesterday.
But everyone hates them because Philly.
That's true.
Philly's just they're
garbage.
They're the bad guy in your movie, man. Mm-hmm. They're just that, they built themselves that way. Their fans act that way. They just are. They are the long mustache dude.
The snidely whiplash of the NFL.
Yeah, that's them.
Fair
that's
enough.
What they are. And they all want so bad. Our quarterback's better than y'all. And we beat them once. They beat us the first time, and then Jalen Hurts was hurt the second time, which we hurt him. But I didn't. I mean, but
what happened was he was on the sidelines. The coach said, "Snap the ankle." Yes, insane.
Sweep the leg. We slipped the leg of Cobra Kai. No, we did not. But anyway.
He goes out there and gets in the crane pose.
But Philly's they're just toilet people. It's just their fans.
They drink water out the hose.
Their fan base. They're just their fans stink. Like last night, I was watching a thing, and they were playing the Packers.
Yeah.
And sorry fans, someone's just wearing a Packers hat sitting there, some woman not causing any fracas, just sitting at the game, enjoying her game, and there's them drunk. And these are people that look like they know better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These are people that they sit there and drink copious amounts of beer, and now they turn from normal people to just turd buckets, and now they're just berating some poor lady because she's wearing a Green Bay Packers hat.
Hey, you got the wrong shade of green on, lady.
I'm sorry.
Really?
You need to trip down the stairs, buddy. You need to take a tumble down the stairs. And if any man worth of salt saw that in that area, and I don't care what fan base you were. I just saw this one video earlier, but that's Philly. They're just toilet people in general. Their fan base, their ownership, even their coach is a jerk. So they're mad that our team's got all this shine on them now in their division. But anyway,
and they're still alive though. So.
They are.
Yeah.
And we don't play them next week. We play the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, you got the Lions coming
up. The 1 seed, which that's coming. I mean, I love Jade and I love it, but this is David Goliath right now. Detroit is a way better ball club than the Commanders are.
Next week
now.
It's going to be Texans, Chiefs, Commanders, Lions, Ravens, Bills, and then the Eagles taking on the winner of the Vikings and Rams. Whoever wins tonight.
Game. And that game is happening in Arizona.
Go Rams.
Because of LA and the fires and all that, so that game's been moved to Arizona tonight. So the game is a home game for Los Angeles,
right?
In Arizona.
They're not.
Which is that really a home game for Los Angeles? I mean, really. I mean, let's be honest. That stadium's not going to be filled with maybe some Rams fans, but it's not going to be like SoFi Stadium.
No, it's not going to be the exact
LA.
home game experience, but they're also not going to have to go play in Minnesota.
Well,
so
yeah.
I mean,
Minnesota's indoors. It doesn't matter. They have a sense to put a roof on a building.
But
like
jet
Green Bay.
lag though, it's not fun.
Yeah.
They only gave me a small little bag of peanuts. I was mad.
They have a sense to put a roof on the building in Minnesota, unlike Green Bay.
Oh, it is Minnesota. It makes sense there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Green Bay, we don't think that far ahead.
Well, it started a whole debate about, because if you don't know, Arizona Stadium and Las Vegas also does it. They actually grow the grass. They can slide it on a big tray and they grow grass. So it's a
real turf.
Basically an indoor stadium with grass in it that they can wheel in and wheel out like on a big tray, like a cookie sheet, and and basically do that. And so I was seeing a thing online where they were talking about that, and there was like a Arizona thing was saying, "Hey, welcome to our home," kind of thing, and they were showing the field coming in and had the Rams coloring and imaging all over it and stuff there. So that was kind of the and everyone's kumbaya. Oh, thanks for welcoming us in. Blah blah blah. High five and all that.
Holding hands because we're all
doing all that.
Thinking about each other.
But then it starts this whole debate because the comments do comments, and then you go in the debate. Now it's like, why can't they do this in every stadium? And then it's like, you ever try to grow grass in Minnesota? And it's like, I don't know. They seem to do it in Green Bay, and I'm like, yeah, have you seen the grass in Green Bay in December? It sucks.
Yeah.
It's just dirt that they paint green. Literally, they spray paint green dirt. So anyway, 7:16. Matt Bristol's been patiently waiting here to listen to all this stuff. He's a big football fan too. So I kid them.
Well, I was sitting in my studio a few minutes before the show started, and I hear Mike. He goes, "Oh, do you know?" And he starts in with the Jack Kent Cook era, and I'm like, "Oh,
I'm sorry.
Matt. Oh, Matt, you're in for a TED Talk, my friend."
I'm sorry. I'm coming off the win. I've got 3 hours of sleep because I couldn't sleep all night because of the game. And Matt's the first face I saw this morning. He walked in. I blame him. He walked in.
This man is a historian.
You get what you get when you walk in here at 6:30 in the morning. But Matt Bristol from Bristol Law patiently been waiting. He's going to join us on the radio here in just a few. In the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to have artist Greg Birch join us and give us an update on some of the work he's been up to here. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, John Noble with Roswell Seed will pop in for a visit. We'll talk to him about growing grass in Minnesota in December and see what he says. Of course, he's not from Minnesota. He probably couldn't help us much. But anyway, we'll get an update from John over at Roswell Seed. Plus, we'll have all of your newses of the local, national variety, Wall Street business updates, and all that good stuff, too. But first, let's take a look at your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're staying a little cloudy around the Roswell area today with a cold front nearby, cloudy and about 40, and we may get a few snow flurries. Then for the rest of the area, sunny and afternoon highs in the mid-40s for Carlsbad and Artesia. Overnight, a few lingering clouds, our lows in the 20s, and then on Tuesday we'll be in the mid-40s to low 50s, should be sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 33 degrees here in Roswell. At least it's above freezing. I'm calling that a win. 718 this week. That's above freezing. Call that a win. Overcast, but 33 here in Roswell. Humidity is at 89%. Winds are currently out of the southeast at 3 miles per hour. Expect a high of 43 today under partly cloudy skies. Winds will be out of the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy. Expect an overnight low of 23 degrees. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. For your Tuesday, mostly sunny, 47 for a high. Winds out of the north at around 5 miles per hour. For Wednesday, we're looking at sunny skies, highs number 5 entering the forecast. Let's make sure that be 50 for a high on Wednesday. Thursday, high of 56. Holy mackerel. Hold on to your butts. Friday, mostly sunny, 63 for a high. Look at that, folks. We might see 60s by the end of the week here. So enjoy that. And you know what? Nah, sorry. I was going to say maybe that carries into the weekend. Sorry about that. It doesn't. Sunny and 53 on Saturday, but then we got a 20% chance of snow shower Sunday with a high of 39. So they'll give us that 60s for just a short-lived, but looks like we see something rolling in here Saturday night into Sunday. All right, 7:20. We're going to take a quick commercial break, get you into Roswell Livestock Report with Smiley, and then we'll have Matt Bristol join us on the other side here. Don't go away.
Good morning. This is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A big January January sale this week with a nice selection of all classes of cattle, especially high-quality native calves, light yearlings with condition, bred cows. We expect to sell 2,150 head, breaking down like this: 125, 150 weight cows and bulls, 300, 325 pairs bred cows, 1,700, 1,750 calves and yearlings. Today's sale will include 15 to 20 cow-calf pairs, mostly black, white-face Angus and Brangus cross cows with black calves, 4 to 10 years old, 116 bred cows, excellent quality, 90% black, white-face Angus crossbred cows, bred to high-quality Angus bulls. 5 to 10 years old, 33 bred heifers, Ken Smith Incorporated, Hobbs, New Mexico. Excellent quality crossbred bred heifers, bred to half Corriente, half Angus, low birth weight bulls. 25 bred cows, Geronimo Ranch, Santa Fe, New Mexico. Excellent quality black Angus cows, bred to Angus bulls, cows 6 to 10 years old. 29 bred cows, Vaca Ranch, White Lakes, New Mexico. Excellent quality black Angus cows, bred to Angus bulls. Cows 8 to 10 years old. 405 calves, Guadalupe Ranch down in Otero County in Crow Flat. Excellent quality, 90% black Angus crossbred calves, cattle weaned 60 to 75 days. 2 rounds of shots, light, thin condition. 275, 475 pounds. 127 yearling cutting bulls, Emo Kenny and Sons, Cornudas, Texas. Excellent quality black, white-face Angus crossbreds, approximately 45 of these. 500, 650 pounds, 85 head, 7 to 900 pounds. 47 calves, Mr. Nathan Jerva, Carlsbad, New Mexico. Excellent quality black Angus and Brangus crossbred calves, cattle weaned 60 days, 1 round of shots, 300, 500 pounds. 57 calves and light yearlings, Mr. Ron Parker, Hobbs, New Mexico. Excellent quality black Angus, weaned 75 days, Boversill Gold 7-way. 500 to 700 pounds. 60 calves, Darrell Welty and family, Winston, New Mexico. X-quality black white face, Angus and Brangus cross calves. Triangle 5, 7 wet, Brandon, 350. 500 pounds, 101 calves and light yearlings, Robinson Cattle Company, Mesilla Park, New Mexico. X-quality 90% black Angus and Brangus cross calves, cattle weaned 45 days. Shots, bunk broke, 550, 650 pounds. 71 calves, Sierra Alta Ranch, Donahan, New Mexico. X-quality black Angus cross calves, cattle weaned 90 days. Shots, bunk broke, 450, 600 pounds and 35 calves. A 2-2 partnership, Pecos, Texas. X-quality black white face, Angus crossbred calves, long time weaned, PI tested. Shots, 350, 475 pounds. Sale time this morning, 9 o'clock. Sale pairs bred cows 10. Be selling calves and yearlings at 11:30. Fairly short on weigh cows and bulls. Be on bred cows about 10:30. We expect to sell 2,150 head today. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
So your pecans aren't as big and bountiful as they used to be? Well, what would Jim Gill do?
Hi, this is Ben from Roswell Seed Company. Few people knew as much about pecans as Jim Gill. And if he were here today, he'd tell you it was time to fertilize. He'd tell you just what you need and show you how to use it. Then he'd make some joke about your neighbors making fun of your nuts.
So when there's trouble with your pecans, head for Roswell Seed Company and ask them, what would Jim Gill do?
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
Are your kids riding safely? Did you know 3 out of 4 car seats are used incorrectly? Car seat inspection events happen all around New Mexico, free of charge by the NMDOT Traffic Safety Division. Certified child passenger safety technicians give parents and caregivers personal instruction on installation and use of your car seat. Make sure your kids are safe passengers. Go to safernm.org to find an event near you. Brought to you by this station and the NMBA.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Elephants use these skin folds on their bodies to crush mosquitoes. Mike Winters uses his to hide M&Ms. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7:25, and joining us in studio this morning, or officially now in studio this morning, from Bristol Law Office, Matt Bristol back with us. Good morning, Matt.
Morning, Mike. How you doing?
Doing great. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. I guess you're excited about Washington winning.
A little bit. Yeah, you've heard more than your fair share about that. Yes. It's just nice.
Uh-huh.
I know people are probably a little tired of it, but for my shoes, you got to give me. I just grew up the whole. This is my team. This is somebody in my for growing up as a teenager from 9 years old on, this team won Super Bowls, and I was like, man, this is amazing. And then for the last 25 years, they've been hot garbage. And I never thought I'd see this team be good again. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, they might win a Super Bowl before I leave this earth. And it's just nice.
Well, Mike gave me the 25-year history before
that's right. I gave him
we went on air, yeah.
So Matt's got the whole Redskin history now, so he's good to go. But for folks not familiar, Matt joins us each month, and this is where I use the term that Sean gives me crap for. Gives us sage legal advice. That's what he does. But it's really sage life advice more than what really.
Sometimes,
I mean, it's more of life advice to have you not deal with so much legal needs down the road. Taking a little bit of time to do the proper legal setups and things for your life, especially for finances or business and things. Doing it the right way the first time is usually the key to success for any of this kind of stuff.
Avoiding problems is much more important than trying to solve problems.
So Matt and I have these conversations each month. So, when you do cross these paths in life, which we all hopefully, some of you are definitely going to hit. Hopefully you hit some of these other ones, and hopefully you don't on some of these other ones. Yeah. But if and you do, then you've got something that at least, you know what to expect. You maybe can avoid some of these things, or plan properly for the ones that we all have to do. You hear the death and taxes. You're gonna deal with both of those one way or another. And
sooner or later,
a legal way to do it and a not so legal way to do it.
Yeah, yeah. And as we left off last time, we actually talked about taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this month. So, not that I'm an accountant, but
you pay taxes.
But we all pay taxes.
But as a taxpayer.
and we all want to pay as few taxes as legally as possible.
Absolutely want to do your share, but
tax, evasion is illegal. That's what they got Al Capone on. But tax avoidance is contemplated by the tax code.
Okay.
So tax avoidance is perfectly legal and anticipated by the tax code.
Gotcha.
So so I talk to my clients, some are middle-aged or didn't they want to retire someday.
Sure. They're hitting those stages in life where they're thinking about having less income coming in. How do I use my retirement to relive the rest of my life?
Right, exactly. So there are 3 broad tax categories for individuals. And so we got a high tax, medium tax, and zero tax. So which is, pretty convenient, high, medium, and low. So the only zero tax that we have would be like a Roth IRA, a Roth 401k.
Gotcha.
So when people make contributions to those retirement accounts, they do not get a tax deduction for the contribution. But in the future, the money and all the earnings come out tax-free.
So you get that reward on the back end.
On the back end.
Yeah.
So I encourage my clients, how many tax-free things do you get in the world? Not many.
Yeah. So throw some of your money in there at least. Probably not a bad idea.
Yeah. That's a great investment, 401k. Roth.
And generally, obviously we need to talk to financial planners and all these for those conversations, but just from personal experience, and I'm sure you probably would agree on this, is general the rule of thumb when it comes to financial planning and stuff is, don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's kind of the thing. Diversify a little bit, give a little here, a little there. Financial planners will tell you, and you talk to them. But generally speaking, the rule of thumb is don't shove your whole nest egg in one basket here.
Generally not. Yeah. So with Roth, you have contributions. But at some point in time in the future, you may be able to do what are called conversions.
Okay.
So to contribute to a Roth IRA, so an IRA is an individual retirement account. Mm-hmm. The Roth 401k is employer sponsored. So for an individual retirement account, there are income limits for contributions. Mm-hmm. But for a conversion, there's no income limit. So what's a conversion? So because I'm self-employed and I get to make up the rules for my retirement plans, I was able to convert slowly from my traditional retirement account over to the Roth over a period of time.
Okay.
So you don't have to convert it all in 1 year, because each conversion is a taxable consequence.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, because the government wants their money sooner or later. So
yeah, they'll get it.
Yeah. So conversion from the traditional to the Roth IRA is a taxable event, but you can choose how much to convert. You can control your tax rate.
Okay.
So I do a little bit at a time, keep the taxes low. And so I was able to convert everything over to the Roth.
Okay.
So if you have an employer with a Roth 401k, hey, you're golden. Just keep the money in there.
Sure.
But if your employer doesn't have a Roth, just has a traditional 401k, then whenever you leave, if you already have a Roth, then in the future you can convert it once you leave employment.
Gotcha. Okay. That's why you can keep your stuff there instead of it going bye-bye when you leave the company. So.
Right. Well, if you're not paying tax, you don't even have to have as much money either.
Good deal. So, again, things. I never mind. I was going to say I work for a company of 6 people. I don't have those kinds of issues, but mine's done them more differently there. But for people that have those and have those services offered, you're a fool not to, take those and take advantage of those. So please, when so some young people listening, when you're, doing your job interviews and you're listening for those kind of benefits, ask those kind of questions about the Roth 401ks and things like that. Now, obviously, certain companies are going to have it versus others. The bigger corporations, you walk into a business that has 3 employees, they're probably going to look at you and say, what? But we don't have a guy named Roth that works here.
Exactly. Yes, that's true. That's true. It'll be the larger employers.
Yeah. But something to take note as you move into those phases of life.
So even if they have a traditional 401k, depending on your income limits, you still may be able to do a Roth IRA.
Sure.
And then if your spouse isn't working, your spouse can qualify for a spousal IRA.
Okay.
So keep that in mind.
Absolutely. But again, talk to your financial planners on these options and things too. That's what they do.
Especially to invest within that account.
Yeah.
Talk to a professional.
But absolutely. But when it comes to protecting it and what you pay taxes on, that's where Matt comes in a little bit.
So what's the highest tax rate? So we talked about those 0.
Okay.
There's a high and a medium. So what's the highest tax rate?
I have no idea.
Well, it's called the ordinary income tax.
Okay.
Ugly, it has a name. So the ordinary income tax. So that's your paycheck.
Gotcha. Your weekly or biweekly paycheck.
Right. That's the highest tax rate in the country. I mean, how icky is that?
Yeah. Well, that's where they get you.
Yeah. That's right. That's where all that money comes from.
Yeah.
So a traditional 401k, traditional IRA, you get a tax break for the year you make the contribution. You get a deduction off your taxes. So what happens is in the future, when you take that money out, you pay income tax on it.
Gotcha.
You pay ordinary income tax rates.
Which is the highest.
The highest tax rate in the country. Yeah. So that's why the Roth is so much better, because it's 0.
Sure. So you're going to lose a hunk of your retirement.
To taxes.
To taxes, yeah.
Yeah, and so Kim is a teacher, as we've discussed before. She's earning teacher retirement. And so in the future, when she retires and pulls that money out, guess what tax rate she's paying?
The high one.
The highest one, yeah.
Yep.
So educational retirement, PERA retirement, public employees retirement, all those are the highest tax rates in the country.
Yeah.
So we really, in our working years, there's not much we can do to avoid that. I mean, you got to have a paycheck or income of some kind.
Sure, absolutely.
So I mean, even if you have rent houses, you're self-employed, you're paying ordinary income tax.
Absolutely, yeah.
But what you got to do is convert as much of that as to the lower tax rates, to 2 lower tax rates as possible.
Gotcha. And that's when things about your IRA, your Roth IRA,
Roth.
thing like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the medium tax rate? Any idea what that's called?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm in the word. No, go ahead. I don't.
It's called the capital gains tax.
Okay, I was gonna say, because I was thinking capital gains, but I was like, is that technically part of that part of that middle thing?
Uh-huh.
And that's really when you have kind of your windfall type monies and things like that. So say you sell a house and or you have an investment that comes in big time and you win millions awarded. That's when you pay a capital gains tax.
So when you invest your money, that's your capital. And so capital gains tax is profit off investments.
Yeah.
So it could be stock, could be a mutual fund. When you sell the rent house, okay, that's capital gains. That's the medium tax rate. The income from the rent house, though, was ordinary income tax.
But that's what you pay basically when you win the lottery too, right? As a capital gains.
No, you
tax.
pay ordinary income.
That's just an ordinary income. Okay, I thought it fell under capital gains.
Okay. I doubt that.
Okay.
Because it's not an investment.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, depends who you talk to. I bet there's some people in all subs that will definitely argue with you about it.
That was a good $2 investment, Mike.
Yeah.
So the capital gains tax has 3 rates: 0, 10, and 20.
Okay.
Just 3 rates. So the ordinary income tax, your paycheck, has lots of gradations. You might be paying 20, 22, 25, 27, 28, blah, blah, blah.
Gotcha.
So in the capital gains, the 20% tax doesn't kick in till like $400,000.
Okay.
And up to that point, you're paying 10%.
Gotcha.
Under ordinary income tax, you'd be paying 35, 38%. 3 times as much.
That's a lot. That's when you run the numbers, that's a huge savings.
Huge savings.
Yep.
So the other thing that falls within the capital gains tax are just dividend income. So when you buy Coke and they pay you a dividend,
sure,
then that's taxed as capital gains,
okay,
not ordinary income.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's got a lower tax rate, which is very helpful. So I encourage my clients while in their working years, can't do much about the tax on a paycheck, but to try to invest money in the Roth and in the capital gains tax area as possible for the future.
Sure. And this is where those people that play the market, and that's where that money is coming from. But, and again, there's investing and then there's gambling when it comes to that kind of thing. And they're both protected equally as on the tax thing, but one you're going to make money, one probably not.
Yeah, you save your gambling for the horses.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just remember, but that also falls under those capital gains and stuff. So when you're on your whatever stockbroker app and they're throwing money in it all and doing all that stuff and basically treating it like a scratch off lottery ticket, that's what that's going on.
I read 2 interesting statistics. So what percentage of the population do you think gets to become a millionaire? Just wild ass guess. I would have guessed 10%. What do you think?
Oh, I was going to say it was low, like 2% or
So
something.
7% according to this particular study.
Okay.
So 7% of the population becomes a millionaire, but what percentage of the population has a retirement account with $1 million in it?
I have low faith. I'm going to say like 5%.
0.2.
0.2. I'm not even, I was giving them credit. Wow, 0.2.
0.2, because you're limited to how much you can contribute every year. But if you're contributing on the side, outside of retirement, you just have a brokerage account and you're investing. There's no limit to how much you can invest every year. But that tells you that having a 401k is not enough money to get you to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
You're going to have to invest additionally on the side.
Yeah.
Over and above.
And let's be honest, a millionaire in today's world ain't such a thing to brag. You know what I mean? Like a millionaire today is not what you think it is.
Doesn't go as far as it used to.
Yeah. You're a millionaire. Great. That's not guarantee you have enough money to live the rest of your life anymore.
Yep. Yeah, so in 1962 or 63, minimum wage was $1.35. So $1 million went a long way back
millionaire then you could literally, live off the, put it in the bank and live off the interest.
Yeah.
Not so much nowadays.
Not so much nowadays, no.
No, but again, regardless, that's where you a little planning, a little bit of, doing the right thing on some of this, and then knowing, exactly where you're putting your money. It's we live in a world where people just walk in a room and someone tells you something and you believe it just because you don't either feel the need to investigate yourself or don't want to or whatever it is, and whatever reason human do for not doing what they do. And sometimes, let's just face it, I'm not saying people are trying to always put you in a bad thing, but when people are trying to sell you something, they're going to hide the deficiencies just to sell you and promote the positives on that. And if you don't do your own homework on seeing the negatives, how are you supposed to make an educated decision on whether this is the proper thing? And and this is what really these conversations are all about. This is what we talk about with Matt. So it's like when you understand these various levels of, how they tax you, this is what you need to know. So when you say, hey, I am trying to, everyone keeps talking about retirement. I got I got an extra $200 a week now. What do I do with this thing? Or $200 a month. What do I do with this thing?
And that's plenty to invest.
Yeah.
There's a lot of these corporations allow direct investments. You don't have to go through Robinhood or E-Trade or anything.
Sure.
You can do direct investment with a lot of these companies.
Yeah.
And $200 a month is fine. Everybody starts small.
Sure.
Everybody starts small.
Yeah, and that's how you do it. And you just, and then hopefully if you're doing it right and slow, if you're looking for get rich quick, you're probably going to lose in the end. I mean, it's
very rare.
Yeah, the windfall moment, and unfortunately, the world is full of those stories because
they're so extraordinary.
Yeah. But in the reality, that's the 1% of most people's what happens.
Yeah.
For the one that made it, there's a million that tried it and had nowhere near that success.
Nobody's going to get rich off a $10,000 investment.
Yeah.
You need to put six figures away.
And then the things that get popular, what comes up must come down. And so you talk about like trends, like back when I was young, when the internet was kind of blowing up and everyone and their uncle was having, getting websites and thinking this is the way of the world. And it is. They ain't wrong, but it's to be honest, the pot industry is going through it right now. Everybody and their uncle thinks it's the way for the future. We're going to get into pot. We're going to start our pot farm and be millionaires and live right off into the sunset. Yeah, but you and everybody else is doing that too. That's why there's a dispensary every time you throw a rock in any direction in town and probably hit a dispensary. We're in the world right now, and guess what's going to happen? The ones that are building the businesses right, they're building and things. They're going to be successful. And money, and then when the market that's oversaturated, it's probably already getting there. I don't know numbers, but I'm going to guess we're hitting a threshold.
I think the gross receipts tax is starting to slow down on pot sales,
and you're going to start seeing some of those fall by the wayside. But the internet these are people chasing the dollar, looking for that. They're kind of like back in the 1800s. When these folks were going looking for gold and looking for wealth and looking for land, this is the modern version of that. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. So I talked to a financial advisor. I'm of the school of make the easy choice. I don't know if there are some pot companies you can invest in. They're publicly traded. Are they going to be around in 5 years? Is Tesla going to be around in 5 years? I don't know, but Coke and Pepsi, they're going to be around in 5 years. Sure. Google's going to be around in 5 years.
Well, that's what's going to, when we talk about this cannabis industry, once the federal makes it legal, that's when the game just flips, because right now you can't, the monies and everything can't go over state lines. I mean, all this. And so that's kind of keeping some of the big investors that are already in businesses similar to this on the sidelines. Once it goes federally legal, I'm predicting you're going to see your Anheuser-Busch's, your RJR Reynolds the big guns are going to come in, and you're going to be able to buy marijuana like you buy a pack of cigarettes at 7-Eleven at some point. Is what I'm guessing. But anyway, that's what's going to happen when it goes feds. Yeah. And there's already people that are setting up, companies that are setting up to kind of for when that happens, and those that are just saying, hey, let's start a pot store, and then there's the people that actually grow it versus the people that buy it from the people that grow it. Right. And so at the end of the day, those the growers, the ones that are all involved, they're probably going to be your hanging with your Anheuser-Busch's and your RJR Reynolds is when they all move in, and the rest are going to go the way of the dodo.
Yeah, and because the feds still think of it as a criminal enterprise. You
can't put the money in FDIC insured banks and all that.
No federal banks, but also you cannot expense any of the expenses because it's not recognized as a legitimate business.
Gotcha.
So
once all that changes,
and
it will. It's the way the world's going. It's happening.
Yeah.
State by state, every election cycle, more states are going. It's just going to. Whether it happens in 2 years, 10 years, whenever, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just a question of when.
Yeah, but how much money's going to really be in it at some point, I don't know.
Yeah.
And what if it's never federally legal? So if you're going to invest in something, I would invest in something that's going to be around for sure season.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not telling you to invest in it. I'm just saying that's what's going on right now. And so the people that are getting in and got in the ground floor, they're probably going to make out like kings. But the average person that's sitting on the sideline thinking it's a funny idea, you're too late. It's already passed you by. You know, you need to have been in it earlier.
Yeah, and that just like Bitcoin, there's really nothing to underlying value to support the dollar value of Bitcoin.
Sure.
There's nothing to support that price at all, and I consider that just a roll of the dice.
It's just to be honest, it's like no different than any other investment. It's a gamble on the future. You think the future's going to go in this in Bitcoin and there's still, you talk to a lot of people, they think that's the way of the world. And I wouldn't be surprised at some point or another there's a digital currency and all that. But if you don't think the federal government's not going to be involved in it, you're crazy. You don't think it's going to be backed by whatever federal agency or whatever,
Well, at that point, like just like the dollar is supported by all the production in the United States. I mean, there's an underlying value. Business to support that value.
But to create value from nothing, you know what I mean? And that's in essence what a lot of this
Bitcoin is.
It's trying to create a value for something that doesn't exist.
Right.
It's kind of it's like a diamond. Humanity, society's put that is something worth value or precious. They're trying to do the same thing, but they don't have a diamond in their hand to say, "Ooh, look pretty." It's basically
right.
You mine, you go and invest, and then it's like a game, but they got to mine, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. And so
it's all based on what is the next person going to pay you for it.
Yeah, and exactly. And who knows? Maybe there might be some kind of market there, but if you think it's going to be the way of the world, it's no different than these NFTs and all this. It's just people selling nothing, trying to make a value out of it. It's they all think they have a baseball card. They all, and that's really what it's all based off of is you owning that Babe Ruth baseball card as a kid, and it created value. Because but they don't get that it's not the card, it's just a piece of paper. It's Babe Ruth and but they're trying to create value for something out of nothing like that.
It's like Cabbage Patch Kids, Pet Rocks.
They're looking for their, Beanie Baby.
Yeah.
That's what they're looking for.
Oh yeah.
That's what it all is. And some people gonna make a quick buck off of dumb people, thinking it's gonna be, that's what's really going on is everyone's having their own currency. And now people invest in my currency, but wait, no one takes my currency. That's the problem is who's going to accept it? Great, I got a bunch of Bitcoin. Go buy a loaf of bread with Bitcoin. See what that gets you right now. And I know some people argue with me and all that stuff. I was like, you got to convince the world first.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a drug dealer, I think there's certainly a market for that. But for the rest of the world, I just don't see it.
It's Jack and the Beanstalk, man. I got these beans, man.
Yeah, that's how I see it.
Yeah. I mean, sure. I mean, some investors, maybe. I'm not saying it's not possible. It certainly is, but it's chasing the dream. It's chasing the dragon. Sometimes the 1% hits, and then next thing you know, they make a move at it, and then you got the movie Moneyball. That's
well, if you'd bought it 10, 12 years ago, you made some money. And good for you.
Yeah. It's like the Forrest Gump. I invested in some fruit company. Yeah, back then, that was a good time.
But if you made your gazillion dollars, I think it's time to diversify out of Bitcoin.
See, that's what everyone's looking for. Everyone's looking for their next Coca-Cola or Apple, but they want to invest today. And then 20 years from now, it's a household name. That's what they're hoping for.
Yeah.
And really that's what they're chasing, whether it's Bitcoin or whatever. They're just chasing. They want to get on the ground floor of a thing. So when it's a household name 20 years from now, you got in on the ground floor. And that's really what.
That takes some talent to spot that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does.
That's what everyone thinks you're getting investing in. That's the image when you invest you think you're doing. It's kind of like you see those memes. It's like what you think you do, what you actually do, and what you ever see those kind of memes out there? This is one of those things in life. Investing's the same way. What you think you're doing, what you're actually doing, what your friends think you're doing.
Yeah.
But that's kind of but if you know that, you do it the right way, and that's where And that's what we were talking about. We're getting back to retirement and everything else. It's like, if you have that little wild side, there's nothing wrong with putting a portion of your investments into those kind of things. If that's what you love doing, have fun with that. But just remember, don't make that your bread and butter.
Yeah. Don't gamble more than you can afford to lose.
That's called your fun pot, or whatever you want to do it. And if you lose every dime of it, it doesn't impact the big picture. That's where that's what that kind of fun.
Yeah, and you have to be disciplined to not spend more than 5% or 10%.
That's what separates the addicts from the smart investors.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I would pick something simple: Visa, MasterCard. Those guys are going to be around forever.
Sure. Well, that's you sprinkle it in. A little tried and true versus a little experimental kind of thing. Yeah. Invest in those names that are going to be around when your kids are here and things like that. So.
Yeah. So to be smart, plan ahead, think about your tax rates, and try to pay as low taxes as legally as possible.
Yeah. Of course, that's when you get old now, and that's where I think, like, when we talk about companies and things, I was just thinking, tried and true, and, things that I considered as a kid that were just staples. Now they're certain good, like Kodak is the first one that comes to mind, when I think of like tried and true. And so that's something you do have to think about sometimes. If it is a technology business or something like that, what is the staple today may not. I mean, Kodak was a household name when we were kids. You could not take a picture without Kodak involved, pretty much. That was
pretty much monopoly, right?
Yeah. But nowadays they're the way of the dodo. I think they're still a business, but when's the last time you've done anything involving Kodak?
Well, you can't set it and forget it.
Yep.
You always have to pay attention to what you're invested in.
Yeah.
And Kodak's problem was they thought they were in the camera business, not the picture business.
Yep.
And so they missed all that stuff.
Camera changed
with phones. Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, what about film? Yeah, what about it?"
Right. So you just can't buy something and ignore the changes.
Yeah, if they were
of
smart,
technology.
they could have been the next digital imaging and system, and Kodak would have been synonymous with everything in digital imaging today. But it's not, and that's not how they did it.
So you got to pay attention to what you got, and review what you own, why you own it, why did you buy it, are those reasons still valid?
Yeah.
But as far as do you check on your investments every day? That's a bad habit. You check on them once a month. That's a bad habit.
Well, that's where you get down the rabbit hole, and you see it to go a tick one way or the other, and you react to it that way. You will drive yourself crazy, and you'll go broke doing that.
Yeah, I look at mine like twice a year because I'm investing for the long term.
Sure.
So I'm more interested in 10, 15 years down the road.
And you're not doing you're not playing. See, the people that do what you're doing, and I just all the time, dang it. But the people who are doing what you're doing, they're literally having a spot all day on it, and they're trying to make them a quick $100,000 here and there by investing in it. Investing today, it goes up 1 point by the end of the day, and then they sell, and then they think they just made $100,000 or something, and that's not how most of the stock market players work. The Wolf of Wall Street crazy stuff you see on the TV, that's what's going on, but that's 1% of the actual investors in the stock market. And I'm probably lowballing.
Day trading is gambling, it's not investing.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's no different than going to Vegas and sitting there playing Keno or slot machines.
Yeah, well, at least with blackjack you got some decent odds.
Yeah. Exactly.
And
you kind of have a say a little bit in that one.
You got some control over it. Yeah.
But I just saw the time. Of course, if you have any questions about legal stuff, if you need family law, legal issues, any of that kind of stuff, business, partnerships, LLCs, if you're having that kind of stuff, don't hesitate to give Bristol Law Office a call. Matt Bristol.
Give us a ring, 625-5284.
Yeah.
BristolLawOffice.net, and be glad to help you out.
Absolutely. And put it this way. If you think you might need a lawyer, call Matt, set up an appointment, let him tell you if you need a lawyer, because when he tells you don't need a lawyer, you don't need a lawyer, and you're going to save some money. And if he tells you, yes, you need a lawyer, you're going to, that way you're going to save yourself the headache down the road of not doing enough from the beginning.
And if you need something we don't do, we can point you in the right direction.
Absolutely, too. Yeah, if it's certain area law that Matt doesn't cover, that's the thing about lawyers. Lawyers know other lawyers. You can say, hey, I recommend you go.
Exactly. Exactly. So thank you so much, Mike.
Anytime. We do have quick, if you got a minute, like a short,
Sure. So in Spanish, the word con means with. Chili con carne, con queso. Without is sin, sin, means without.
Gotcha.
And so in Roman times, when you go shopping for marble, for your kitchen or whatever, you want the highest quality. So sometimes the seller, the vendor, would use wax on the marble to hide impurities or cracks or things. And the word for wax was cero. So if you had the real deal, the unadulterated, the true version, you would be without wax or sin cero. Where we get the word sincere.
Nice. Interesting.
So 2,000 years later, we're using the same word, sincere.
And it's based off of basic with or without in the sin from without.
Without the wax on the marbles, you got the real deal. Yeah, so I think that's interesting. We use same words thousands of years later.
Yeah. And I always that's one of those few Spanish words like con. I know that one with. I know it with because it's with chili, with queso. Thanks to Mexican food, I know con very well.
Yeah.
But interesting. Well, excellent. Of course, again, BristolLawOffice.net.
.net.
Yes.
BristolLawOffice.net.
Yes. Or give them a call. What's the number one more time?
625-5284.
Awesome. Thank you, Matt. As always.
Thank you, Mike. Enjoyed it.
And
congrats on your football team.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
All right. 7:58. Quick break before news.
There are 3 key phrases that need to be spoken on a regular basis in a healthy marriage. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
For over 20 years, Julie and I have been sharing these 3 key phrases, and here they are. I love you, I'm sorry, and I forgive you.
Ephesians 4:32 says, be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ, God forgave you.
It's so easy to expect others to love us, to say I'm sorry, and to forgive us. But it's really a gift that we give each other. The Bible teaches us we sow and we reap. Sow into your spouse, I love you, I forgive you, I'm sorry. And then you'll reap a harvest in return. Someone has to start the process. Let that be you today so you can really enjoy your marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
No static at all. Your new home for talk radio is KEND Roswell.
Breaking news this hour at townhall.com. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. A surging death toll is accompanying a slight break in the weather as firefighters in Los Angeles cast a wary eye on the forecast now for yet more high winds. And for now, LAPD Chief Jim McDonald says they can no longer escort or even allow residents to go back into their burned-out homes.
We have search operations now beginning. We will have cadaver dog deployment, and that will result in crime scene preservation efforts, and then the recovery of remains, working closely with the LA County Coroner. Tomorrow, winds will be picking up, as you heard, further, complicating our efforts and creating an additional fire danger.
The death toll now stands at 24, with at least another 16 still missing. A number officials say is likely to rise. Americans face a massive tax increase at the end of this year unless the 119th Congress extends the current Trump tax cuts. The citizens group Americans for Prosperity this morning is launching an 8-figure nationwide campaign to inform voters they need to get involved. AFP Vice President Akash Shaguli says the issue is a little-known provision in the Trump tax cuts enacted back in 2017.
The individual side tax cuts and then some key business provisions for small businesses and others were set to expire at the end of 2025, which means that absent action from Congress and the president, Americans will see a massive tax hike at the end of the year. We want to make sure people are aware of the fact that that tax hike is coming if Congress doesn't act, and urge them to act to extend and build on those tax cuts.
Americans for Prosperity is seeking grassroots support nationwide to help preserve the Trump cuts. More information can be found on the website protectprosperity.com. Today's scheduled debut launch of Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin rocket was called off because of technical problems. They're now reviewing new possible launch dates. More from townhall.com.
making America.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
I was trying to bring his quality of life back up and make him actually live longer, right? And hopefully heal whatever is wrong with him. But of course, ultimately killed him.
Joseph Journal says a third cat, Big Boy, had to be hospitalized and tested positive for bird flu. A month later, Rock Bar Milk had to be recalled due to bird flu risk in animals. Nearly a dozen California cats have died after consuming raw milk or raw pet food contaminated with bird flu. I'm Julie Walker.
You'll find breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. An investigation is underway into the private drone that crashed into an aircraft battling the Southern California wildfires last week.
The FBI says it's looking for the owner of the drone that punched a hole in the wing of a Super Scooper aircraft Thursday, forcing it to land. These types of planes fly low over bodies of water, scooping up vast amounts of water to drop on the fires. Officials say there have been over 40 incidents of unauthorized drone activity blocking air operations since the fires in California broke out. The Federal Aviation Administration has enacted temporary flight restrictions in the area. Tasha Stevens reporting.
The wildfires that erupted this week across Los Angeles County are far from contained, but they're already expected to be the costliest in U.S. history and among the worst natural disasters. The devastating blazes have killed at least 16 people and incinerated more than 12,000 structures. You'll find more of these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will live for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2
of the juice.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM. Happy Monday.
It's an oxymoron, my friend, but yes, welcome to it.
Yeah, it is dreary and overcast.
But you know what? It's above freezing, and I'm going to tell you, I'll take it.
Say, yeah, it was nice to say an hour ago it was 33. 33 at 7 in the morning. That's an achievement.
We were chasing that anything above 32 the entirety of Saturday.
Yeah. But it's going to be one of those weeks where it gradually, like, we'll be in 40s like today. By like midweek, we hit 50. There's a 60 thrown in there like Friday. But then, like, by Sunday again, it's cold and dreary. So.
Downright warmish for 1 or 2 days. But, yeah. And it's also weird to hear him say something like, a cold front just blew in from Arizona. It's like, what?
Right?
Those combination of words don't make sense to me.
When I think of cold fronts, I think they come from Arizona.
A polar vortex blew in from Death Valley. Oh!
That's right. But, you know, it happens. It happens. It happens. Sorry.
It does indeed.
But happy Monday. Happy, yes, I'm still giddy from the Washington Commander victory, and I will be soon. You cannot take it away from me. I don't care what you do.
I'm surprised you didn't wear more of your commander's garb today.
To be honest, I didn't want to wear a t-shirt. It's too cold.
I just meant like your cabbie hat.
I didn't. I don't know why. I think it was just I was kind of I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so I was kind of groggy leaving the house and just kind of So I think I just walked out the door without putting it on.
I get that. I've walked out the door with without many things in the past.
Pants.
Yeah.
Guess we're Donald Ducking it today.
It's funny. I did a story last week about how a portion of Americans, at least the ones surveyed, carry an extra pair of underwear on them for emergencies.
Do you do? Like, I remember, like, as a kid, your mom's always joked, and like that was a stand-up comic bit.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't actually knew people that had a pair of drawers in the glove box.
Apparently, the spare pair is a thing. And I laugh because I'm
not judging, and it's probably, you know what? There's going to be a day where I'm like, I should have had a spare. You know what I mean? It's like, I'd never do that. And then there's the day where, like, that would have been really handy right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not judging.
I chuckle because in giving my kids clothes back to their kids' mama over the weekend, she calls me yesterday and she said, I have a pair of your underwear. I'm like, oh, okay, my bad. So I guess they were laundered. And now I have a spare pair in my glove box just accidentally.
Now, if you're a parent, yes, you should have spare pairs of your kids' drawers
absolutely
in there at all
a spare
times.
change of clothes in general for going someplace. But
yeah, I never think so much as a grown person. But in fairness, I mean, that was always the thing, you know.
I never did
get an accident.
I never did understand that bit. It's like he was hit by a truck. Check his underpants.
Right. Well, I guess they just seen people cutting clothes when that happens. And like, oh, man, what if his drawers are all... Well, you know what? You just were an accident.
It's... the definition of accident changes wildly from when you're a child to when you're in a man in his 40s.
Yeah. But
it means a lot more gambled and lost.
But I've had many a day where a fart was not a fart.
Exactly.
And so I'm just saying,
it's a case of, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
That's all I'm saying. It's, as of course, we just had Matt Bristol in.
Mm-hmm.
He is a big scout person, and one of the things in scouting is be prepared.
Be prepared.
And
heck
if you are you're inclined to not have what you think you're going to not have, you keep a pair in the drawer.
In fairness, though, the scout uniform is the right color.
Well, the pants are green. So.
That's what I'm saying. In either situation, you're set.
Bring me my brown pants. Bring me my red shirt. Sorry. But being prepared. So I keep the drawer in there.
So I just accidentally have a spare pair in the glove box. It just kind of drifted through my mind. It's like, you have underpants in your car right now. It's a weird thought to have this time in the morning.
So do you actually keep gloves in there? Like, did anybody have a pair of gloves in their glove box?
I've legitimately never kept a pair of gloves in my glove box.
No. Be honest, I own like 2 pair of gloves and they're sitting in a drawer that I wear them once maybe every 2 years. Like that one day it snows and I'm going to be out shoveling snow or doing something, then I put them on. Past that, they sit in that drawer.
Honestly, I've thought to get gloves like 16 times over the last few months.
Yeah.
I just do this though. Just close my sleeve around my hand and just baby paw it.
Yeah. Well, I know there's like driver gloves, and then that seems too bougie for me to be doing that.
Bring me my driving gloves.
Well, when I was a younger man, the people I knew that owned driving gloves were pretty much jerks. So I associate a person, and I'm not even talking like bougie British driving. I'm talking like I just watched Fast and Furious, and I got fingerless driving gloves, and I need to be that guy. The concept of the fingerless glove
is maybe the silliest thing in the world. Like, what's the purpose besides a little extra grip?
And I would argue if it is cold, I guess it does.
Yeah, it warms the base of your hand, but most of my cold in my hands is in my fingertips.
I think it's a lot of like when you touch the steering wheel and it's cold. And you're like, ooh, I got to hold it, but it's too cold. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You start driving like this.
The glove protects that. That's what I would guess.
Yeah, I swear.
Past that, I think it's just someone trying to look cool so they could do this. Well, they kind of look like they're, a baller.
And my driving sock. There you go.
I think it's just to do that's what's the same with the glasses. You do that move.
Trust me, you're going to want me to have these on when I'm behind the wheel.
I can't see sunglasses. But that's what I think.
There you go.
Man, my nose is stuffed up. Sorry, I got the sniffles.
Tis that time of the season. And actually, the kids have been back to school a few days now. I'm surprised you haven't come down sick sooner.
Oh, well, I had the cold and like over the holidays.
That's sort of like established a...
I think I just get a cold in like November, and I just keep it till about March.
Yeah, just perma-cold.
I think it's just some layer of it the whole time here.
But now there's some new crud going around with the kids. So
is there?
Yeah, wash your hands, everybody. And everybody, wash your hands.
Clap, 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 clap. Mega Moon. I'm here on stage tonight to put on a show for you. We got Poindexter on the violin, and Lewis and Gilbert will be joining in. We got Booger Presley on main guitar, and rapping along, Little Me Lamar.
That movie held up. I have to go back and rewatch.
Again, stuck in my head.
Yeah.
I just whipped that out 30 years later like nothing happened. Artist Greg Birch.
Yes.
Before I start making more stupid songs.
Before we start making more art. Because this is art right here, my friend.
That, what I just did was not art.
It's subjective.
That was not. That was me remembering a song that I should have no business remembering. That's what that was. But artist Greg Birch will join us here in just a few, give us an update on some of the things he's been working on here. And then later on the hour, we'll do the newses of the local variety. Oh, I got to add some ads that I forgot to play last hour, so we'll work those in too. We
owe the man.
That's right. So I'm going to get those in. I just remembered right now. So
very good.
It is 8:15. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're staying a little cloudy around the Roswell area today with a cold front nearby, cloudy and about 40, and we may get a few snow flurries. Then for the rest of the area, sunny and afternoon highs in the mid-40s for Carlsbad and Artesia. Overnight, a few lingering clouds, our lows in the 20s, and then on Tuesday we'll be in the mid-40s to low 50s, should be sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, hold on, my computer's asleep. There we go. And still asleep. Needs to be refreshed. Where'd the mouse go? There it is. Sorry about that. I'm awful. Currently, come on, 32 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 88%. Winds are out of the south at 5 miles per hour. We are looking at a high of 43 today under partly cloudy skies with winds out of the south at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tonight, we're looking at partly cloudy skies, 23, for an overnight low with south winds at around 5 miles per hour. Tuesday, we're hitting 47 for a high, so eking closer to 50 tomorrow Winds will be out of the the north, 5 miles per hour. Wednesday, full on 50, sunny and 50 for a high. Winds out of the northeast at around 5 miles per hour. Thursday, mid-50s for a high, 56 and sunny on Thursday. Friday, 63 for a high, mostly sunny and 63. And then for the weekend, none of that. 53 on Saturday, so not too bad. But Sunday, we are looking at a 20% chance at snow showers with a high of only 39 degrees. So back getting cold again on Sunday. All right, it is 17 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're going to take a 4-minute break. And then Greg Birch join us here on the show just in a few minutes. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Hey, Roswell, Happy New Year. Roswell Ford has a New Year's resolution you're going to love. We resolve to sell more new Fords in 2025, so we're going to make it super fun, super fast, and super easy, just for you. In fact, we'll give you the price we'd give to a friend or family member right up front. So bring us any trade in any condition. Don't even wash it, because at Roswell Ford, all trades are welcome. Making payments on your current vehicle and want out early? We can help. We'll take your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Roswell Ford has partnered with more aggressive lenders, all with great rates and terms for good credit, no credit, and even bad credit, with rates as low as 0% APR. Plus, we have a great selection of low mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Huge savings, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance, plus tax, title, and license with approved credit.
Strong women need strong partners to help them lead their healthiest lives. At Artesia General Hospital, Dr. Scott Beard and nurse practitioner Lori Crockett deliver compassionate, holistic care to women at every age and stage. From routine checkups to diagnostic testing and specialty services like urogynecology, you can expect the most innovative, personalized care close to home. Learn more about women's services at Artesia General Hospital online at artesiageneral.com/women or by calling 575-736-8394. Many women's services are also offered in Carlsbad.
You there! What are these?
My glasses, Your Highness. They're
incredible. Who made these?
The eyesight in Roswell. Or was it Hobbs? Or maybe Carlsbad.
So well crafted and stylish. So the eyesight thinks they could challenge my throne with their quality eyewear.
Actually, Your Majesty, I got 2 pair and an eye exam. It was so easy. I did it during my lunch break, and they even took my insurance.
Lunch break? Who gave you a lunch break?
Human resources, Your Majesty.
Silence! I'll get you eyesight!
The Eyesight, now accepting new patients 5 and up in Roswell, Hobbs, and Carlsbad.
3 locations?
Clearly the best in sight.
Sign up today for the 3rd annual Artesia 4-H fundraising shoot. The Freedom Shoot Red, White, and Youth is Saturday, January 18th at the Eddy County Shooting Range and features a 100-round sporting clay course. This year also includes an archery course. Gun boards, raffles, door prizes, and lunch is provided. For more information or to sign up, call 575-513-0144. Support the Artesia 4-H and sign up today for the Freedom Shoot, January 18th.
Our lives run on energy every day. And every day, your friends and neighbors at New Mexico Gas Company safely deliver reliable, affordable, essential energy to New Mexicans. The kind of energy that brings families together, that surrounds us in comfort. The energy that warms homes and hearts. We're New Mexico Gas Company, and every day we deliver the energy that's behind some of the warmest moments in your life. That's why we're here.
Are you walking around with a space in your mouth from a missing tooth? Are you having difficulty chewing? Or are you holding back on your big smile in those group photos? Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher with Carabelli Dental. Did you know that we provide dental implant treatment for our patients? We can help you replace one tooth or all your teeth with dental implants. Why not call our office today? Set up an appointment and let's chat about options that will boost your confidence and allow you to live the life with the smile you want.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell or call 575-622-4455.
Attention Goddard Rocket fans! Do you love your car? Well, Roswell Hyundai wants to help you keep your current car with a lower payment. Introducing Refi with Hyundai. Roswell Hyundai wants to help you refinance your current vehicle with rebates and discounts to lower your payment. If you're ready to upgrade, Roswell Hyundai has a fresh inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles. With special financing available, Hyundai can help regardless of your credit with I-10 accepted. Don't forget, all new Hyundais come with a 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty and 2 years of free oil changes. So upgrade your ride or refi with Hyundai. Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd, proud supporter of Goddard Rocket Sports.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. U-Haul is the world's largest advertiser in the Yellow Pages. Too bad millennials don't know what the Yellow Pages are. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, artist Greg Birch back with us. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning.
And then back with us on the phone as well is author Cindy Sloan Butts. Good morning, Cindy. Can you hear us okay?
I can. Thank you very much.
Good morning. And how's the weather and life up north this morning?
Well, I'm looking out my office window, and it's pretty cloudy, but it's supposed to be a high of 37 today.
Ooh.
And no precipitation. So I can't complain too much about that.
Well, good. Well, we actually got you beat by like a whole 4 or 5 degrees there. So come on down and have a pina colada when this where it's warm down here in the 40s.
Okay. All right. Let me just stick my phone in my car, and I'm on my way.
All right. Perfect. Very good. Of course, for folks not familiar, we've had, both of you guys on several times here. And, of course, you've authored many books, Cindy. You live up north here in Albuquerque, up in that area. And, of course,
yes.
What the cool part is you cover some various subjects, and you guys have kind of formed a little bit of a partnership where pretty much everything lately that Cindy's been writing, you're the one that gives the cover art, gives the book its party suit, so to speak, kind of thing. You know?
Well, I try to give it
dress clothes.
justice.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for Greg for that reason, and ever since he started doing the book covers, he's created a whole new image for my work and a whole new, let's call it, reason to purchase my work, because his work is so good.
How many of us,
thank you.
That's what I don't know, for people that are readers, and I'm a reader, and I mean, obviously people read books based off recommendations, things like that, and sure, but anyone that reads on a regular basis, sometimes you just walk the shelves and you see what looks exciting to you, and that's where where Greg's work comes in, because Cindy, you could have the most amazing story on those covers, but if there's not something that draws the eye to want people to open that book, then and that's where and as a reader, I'll tell you every time I'll be walking, like even if you're like in Walmart or wherever, like their little book section, and you're walking by and you're like, ooh, that looks interesting. What's that? And you grab the cover and kind of that's invites people into the story. So it really, I don't think people won't realize how important that cover art is, and really that's the difference between someone reading your book and not reading your book sometimes. So.
Absolutely, I agree completely. The only problem is for those who are, let's call it, more superficial than contextual, for people who are looking for great books, if they, for whatever reason, if the taste fairy says, yeah, I don't like the cover, then they're going to keep walking past the book.
Yeah.
Which is the only downside. But you could say the same thing about the title of the book, that if whatever the title is doesn't appeal to your taste fairy, the cover is irrelevant.
Well, there is that saying, don't judge a book by its cover, and that is true, and you should always do it because you'll miss some good stuff. But it sure does. But when you have a guy like Greg, you don't have to worry about that problem. You just
absolutely.
You guys are being too nice now.
but I would have. But like you said, Cindy, I would imagine you probably get a little bit more recognition or things because of some of the artwork Greg has done. Like it gets a little flash on the shelf, doesn't it? Yeah, it does make.
There's no question about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially because the first Well, the first book I wrote, my daughter happily did the cover for it, and I like it a lot.
Right.
But the three that followed that, I did myself. And, you know, my talents are best left in verbal areas and not visual.
I understand completely. Yeah.
The covers are less than, let's call it, attractive, especially compared to Greg's.
But here's the cool part is, because this is how readers work, you know, so they read one of your later books here that Greg has done the artwork for, and then they start reading your flow, your style, how you tell a story, and that's where you hook them in, and then they say, oh, I got to check out more of Cindy's books. And now they're like, even those early ones that maybe the artwork's not up to snuff compared to the, you know what I'm saying? They're like,
absolutely,
story. So
absolutely,
it all begats that. It's how they, you know, people learn about you, and so hopefully, and that's how I know. I mean, like whatever your favorite author is, whether it's a Stephen King or whatever the national James Patterson's or whatever out there, you all found one of their books the first time, and it was something that drew you to you, and now you get to a point where you're like, I don't care what the person puts out. If their name's on it, I'm going to read it, and that's what happens. So that's
as an author, that's what I hope for.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm thinking some of this will get a few more folks to get to that level. So which I invite you to do, because I think for right now, for people living in Roswell, probably the best way to get this book that we're about to talk about and in your other books is really online right now, right?
Right.
Good deal. Through Amazon or anything. There is what's the name of the bookstore in Albuquerque that a lot of your works are featured at?
Treasure House Books in Old Town.
Okay.
Has all of my books.
So that's because I know and I'm one of these people. Sometimes you like to, you know, kick the tires a little bit. You like to pick up the book and you know, smell it, do it. You know what I mean? You got to do your thing. So if you love that, then hit that bookstore, and then you can get like all of that. And there's probably some other great authors and books you probably want to check out while you're in there.
He specializes in New Mexican authors.
That's great. And
so that's a bonus. That's a plus.
I imagine there's probably a few John LeMays up there as well too. One of our local historical folks out here.
Oh yes.
So let's talk about the latest one here. This is the Versailles book we talked a little bit about this last time. I think we had a conversation, right?
Well, I was working on it, as I suspect, because I'm always working on something.
Yeah, I kind of remember we kind of touched on it here. So let's pull back the curtain here, rather than because for people that don't remember our last conversation. Todd, this is a book that's kind of now, like some of the subjects of your book. These are because it's dealing with history and it's dealing with people. And
the Holocaust.
Yeah, the Holocaust. But just anytime you're dealing with these types of historical pieces, whether, you know, it's so important that we tell the stories, but at the same time, you're digging through some emotion, you're digging through some real personal, and so it makes you feel a kind of way when you're doing the reading, the research, the artwork for putting these types of things. So as good and as informative as your books are, I imagine these are a little tougher for you guys to put together just because of the subject matter which you're dealing with.
Well, I'm going to let Greg speak for himself, because he obviously does an enormous amount of research on my books, on these historical fiction books. But this is the 6th of my historical fiction books, relating directly to World War II and the Holocaust.
Right.
So as somebody who didn't, thank God, experience the Holocaust, I know many people who did and survived it, fortunately. So it's still close to my heart, and as I believe I've said in the past, if those of us in 2025 don't remember and commemorate the Holocaust in some way, then the next generation and the generation after that are not going to know about it, and that would make it possible for it to happen again.
Sure. Well, and that's, like you said, even with historical fiction work, if you don't get the history part right, then it makes the story suffer. So you
Correct.
you have to do the research. You have to do the understanding. So even though the stories you write aren't necessarily real people per se,
the names,
what was done there, what was inspired by it, what was influenced by it, is
it's
very
all
real.
Fact.
It's very
it's
real.
All
yeah.
fact. And carefully researched, I should add.
Yeah. And so that's the rub here. It's so if you're looking to get, that's why I love, when I talk historical, when the Killer Angels, which turned out to be the Gettysburg, those movies, as a book, that does such a great job of evoking the personal and what is really, because some people, you start talking about battles and dates, and then the eyes get bleary and glassy-eyed, and it's like, whoa, boy.
Right.
But when you talk, the conversations, the things that, okay, we can't say it's historical fact because it's people and conversations. But based off what they did, what they done, they were probably talking something along these lines, and how it was that, we're trying to attach the emotion to some of the historical events that took place.
Yeah.
Correct.
And so you can't say for a fact that that's historically accurate, but if they're human beings, they're probably reacting somewhere in this ballpark. You know what I mean? And so that's what I love about historical. It's okay. Technically, it's non-fiction or fiction because we can't say for sure this is what they're thinking, but odds are pretty good. This is kind of, if we didn't nail it exactly, I think we're in the ballpark. You know what I mean? So that's what I love.
The events that took place that I've documented in all 6 of these books are factual.
Yes.
The attack on the Velodrome and the attack on Vichy and everything. This is a particularly, let's call it, unusual book from the other 5 historical fiction books.
Gotcha.
Because everybody, when you think of World War II, you automatically think about the Axis powers, Germany and Italy and so on. And then you think about the Allies, the U.S. and Russia, at that time the Soviet Union, and so on. But no, people rarely think about France. It's just not a major consideration with respect to World War II. And what's interesting to me about France and World War II was that very few people know that a large percentage of the French population sided with the Germans.
Well, that was German-occupied territory for a good hunk of the war, so
yeah,
they were
but see
they were kind of their protectors a little bit too, as much as their.
But what they done is the reason why they sided with them is that they thought that this was going to be easement on them and the people.
Sure.
And they got to understand
politically advantageous.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that signing of Versailles, that right there was the main thing that really pissed Hitler off and got him going.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they basically, the signing of that Versailles, that gave up everything of Germany before he came into power.
Gotcha.
And
so he inherited that.
Interesting. So that's why this, it's kind of neat to read some of this history and this is where, we talk about war, and like you said, Cindy, where, you think of the good guys and the bad guys, and it's very black and white. And and in reality, it's never that way. And it's so much gray and in between. And World War II was, and to be honest, you're surviving. You're trying to do it, you survive. So sometimes people say and hear and do whatever they got to do to survive at that particular moment. So
now,
I would imagine loyalties would flip and lie and change based on, who's controlling the buttons at that particular moment too. There's some of that going.
Go ahead.
And the excellent example of that is the country of Poland. And it was, in fact, the invasion of Poland that began World War II. And the Polish people were very much the victims of Hitler and German invasion and the establishment of places like Sobibor and Treblinka and so on.
Those Warsaw ghettos that
Warsaw ghetto, to be sure. But what's not commonly known is that there were a whole bunch of German sympathizers in Poland regardless of that.
Sure. And I'm going to also say they were sympathizers financially.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that, they were profiteers off of, there was probably a lot of money in the turning in Jew business in that area and doing that kind of stuff.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
So there was people, and that's true in any war. I mean, you look at Civil War, you look at Revolutionary War, you look at every war, there's those people that profit from war. And their scruples aren't necessarily yours or mine.
or exist in the first place.
Or exist in the exactly.
And that Vichy, I believe that one there, that was that they had turned that into the Olympic Stadium at that point. And that
Velodrome?
Velodrome.
Or Vichy?
Velodrome.
Oh, okay.
And that's where they had all that bicycling.
Okay.
That was going around on the court, and that's where they housed all the people at.
Wow. Well, and then at the same time, they create the public image of this, the Olympics in Germany, and this, but what's really going, and that's what the Holocaust is. That's at the end of the day, that's the lesson we're still trying to teach people and show people. It's
and
like,
what I researched on that is that inside that place, they didn't even allow them to go to the bathroom.
Wow.
They gave them buckets inside of there, and there was only 3 buckets per 50 people.
Wow.
Right.
It's kind of sounding like the Rome gladiator stuff almost. You know what I mean?
I can just imagine how crude it was.
Oh, it's just, but it's hard for people to wrap their head around that kind of thing. And it's like, yes, this is what people were dealing with, and to be honest, this is the good side of it, if that makes sense. If, you know what I mean? Like, they not letting you, but I mean, that's disgusting, but that's not even scratching the surface on the worst treatments and how they were doing all that. This was the lesser stuff that was going on.
And being packed into cattle cars.
Yeah,
in transit to Auschwitz.
Yeah.
And Treblinka and so on. Yeah. Packing 300 people into a cattle car with 1 bucket and no food and maybe a bucket of water. So
it's
all of that.
It's one thing that always gets, and even to this day, that still, when you see the images of some of the especially when they first started going to some of these camps, and they're seeing some of the people in the camp still, and you're seeing the barely alive people.
That's people. That's past PTSD.
Yeah, but what always wraps my head around is like to see that person at that form, because knowing at some point in their life they looked like you or I. They were healthy, happy. At some point they were, and to see them as skeletal people, and it's like, can you imagine the things that those people see from where you're going? Like you and I, the way we look today, to look like something like that in a period of months.
Yeah.
In a period of months, they were doing this. Not even years in some cases. It was months.
And of course, the Holocaust deniers, the whole hoax types, want to look at those pictures and say they were photoshopped. They were manufactured. Nobody ever got that skinny, did they?
Exactly. So it's just, it's like you could think about what a person has to go through from what we look at as a healthy person to the people you're seeing in those pictures, and to be alive. That's the most extreme of things you can do to a human being, is what those people went through.
Well, and it just shows that at some points, whenever you start researching some of this stuff and you really start digging into it, you see what man is capable of doing.
And I'm not trying to say this. I mean, this sounds, but to be honest, some of the lucky ones were the ones that died in the gas chambers in the shower. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it sounds bad.
Or killed themselves to avoid the gas chambers.
A fast death was mercy here in some of these cases. That's the sad part here is the ones we rescued. They were probably the roughest of the roughest. The ones that died, that was God's little blessing, weirdly enough. I mean, that's the way it is. I mean,
agree.
That's how bad it is.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to put it that morbidly, but that's what we're dealing with here is some of the ones that didn't, that were found, the skulls and bones, and they're the lucky ones, some of them. I mean, as sad as that sounds, or as creepy as that sounds, that's what we're talking about here.
It's the end to suffering, no matter how it arrives.
Yeah. And so this is why I think, folks, grab the book, enjoy. If you're a history buff, you're going to love some of this stuff. But
I wish I would have had it, but we haven't got it yet.
We'll
but
get
anyway,
it's coming.
Whenever
Wednesday, I get my author copies, Greg, and yours are going to be out in the mail as soon as I get them.
Well, we'll definitely send us a photo. We'll share it, get it all out there and all that. But we'll be able to get that on Amazon. You could definitely pick it up. And I would just, to be honest, just type in when you're on Amazon, just type in Cindy Sloan Butts and check out all of her books. And to be honest, maybe you're not ready to start with this one. We'll pick some of the other ones, and then we'll get into the heavier subjects and some of the more poignant stuff we're talking.
Well,
about.
the cover art, her and her husband, they came down and they was grateful enough. They took me out to lunch, and I basically told her what an overview was of the cover that I was looking at doing, and. So I went down that rabbit hole, and I was like, what were the flags that were flown during that time? And I found this French flag that was flown during that time. That is the oldest French flag that they knew of that was flown in World War II.
Okay, interesting.
And it's actually got the French flag, but it's got the double cross in the center of it.
I love that, and that's again. This is where your artwork, whether it's a painting or on a book cover here, you go and this is how Greg and I kind of met. Was it started where Greg, when he's not painting commissioned artwork for people and making paying the bills, so to speak. Your passion hobby is to go out and you can't restore buildings, that necessarily, but buildings that were lost to history, you recreate them through your art. Yes. You'll take various buildings that were once staples or once main important things at some point in history in New Mexico or around anywhere, and giving us an image of what that building looked like the day that the people that did what they had to do walked the halls of that building, or walked the porch, or walked your Billy the Kids and all that. When you see some of these places that Billy the Kid visited, this is what it looked like. This is what it felt like. And that's what your passion is. And that's really, Cindy, you're kind of doing the same thing through your stories. And yes, these are works of fiction, but they're not. They're truths of human emotion and truths of human.
It's just names that change.
Yeah, it's just the names. Yeah, exactly. Are protecting the people that have lives and things like that may not want their whole story in front of you for them to dissect and look at. So
and honoring those who were lost and those who lost people.
Yeah,
because we still have a lot of survivors or children of survivors. I hear it all the time. I run into people. I ran into somebody recently in Old Town who said, yeah, my dad was a survivor of a survivor.
There's not many left, but there are a few.
I'm sorry?
I said there's not many left, but there are a few out there still. Yeah.
Well, we need to honor them.
And record their history. Them. Like I think like a lot of things I've been hearing and seeing through and not necessarily just Holocaust stuff, but World War II stuff. I've heard a lot of, because we're, each year we're less and less World War II vets, and less, there's going to be a time in the near future where we don't have any left. That's just, they're all gone. That's what's going to happen. It's not a question of if, it's going to happen.
Well, and not only that, but they're not teaching the true history anymore.
Well, history gets warped at the leisure here, and that's why we need these accounts from people that saw it, that lived it, that experienced it, that in some cases to this day are still experiencing it in their heads and everything else. And so, our Holocaust survivors, we're seeing a lot, now that these folks are in their very advanced ages. But there's still people chronologizing. They're still, putting them in rooms while we can, and putting a camera in front of them and saying, "Tell me your story. Tell me what's going on." So if nothing else, we have it here for the next generation to hear your story,
right?
So we can hopefully avoid when the next time someone tries this, and we can say, "See the writings on the wall. this is what's going on. Listen to these people
Exactly.
and learn from these people so we don't experience what these people experience.
Exactly.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And so that's why I love this. So please, and I'm going to throw this out there. If you're World War II vets, if there is a Holocaust survivor in my audience, I doubt it, but you never know. There might be one living here in New Mexico somewhere. You never know. Please.
Absolutely.
Share your story.
Yes.
Share your story. I know it's hard, and maybe you're not, but if you get a chance, that would be a great gift that you can leave for humanity so we
Exactly.
can ensure that nobody does anything like this as long as we're here. You know,
Exactly.
That's what this is about. So get the book, and like I said, this one's going to be, it's going to make you feel a kind of way. That's what this book's going to do. It's not going to be sunshine and rainbows on this one, because it is but this is stuff we need to know. We need to understand, and we need to understand that if we don't chronicle these stories, if we don't share these stories, we will be victims and doomed to repeat it again. This is why history is so important, and tough. And studying people and everybody that says you don't know history or like history, you're full of crap. If you're living and breathing, you're part of history.
That's right.
Whether your history is you on your Facebook, or on your social media page, chronicling your own history, but you're all history, and it's all part of history. And history's not just dates and names and battles and who begat whom, where, and when on this thing. It's the study of us and every little bit. And if you don't understand it, then when you go into the next thing and the next problem, you're not equipped to take it on.
Well, and
What is it? What is the statement? Those of us who refuse to understand history are condemned to repeat it.
Absolutely correct. And
Exactly.
That statement is so true. And if you don't see reciprocals to the world we live in now, and World War II, and even stuff before that, then you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Because if you're seeing what's going on in our current world and some of the circles today, you don't think this is a reciprocal of World War II things and other things that are going on. It all begats, and guess what? That was begat from World War I, which begat from this. It is, and I hate to tell you this, as long as the Middle East is the Middle East, there's going to be problems in the Middle East, because it is the birth of religion and everything that comes with it, and two people disagreeing on a religion is going to, that whole land, as long as it exists, as long as there's humans, there's going to be dispute and conflict there. And if you don't understand that, then
you don't understand. Then you don't understand peaceful coexistence.
Yeah. It's just one of these things that it's going to be. We're dealing with this, and your kids are going to be dealing with it, and you got to understand it. And if you understand the history and understand, that's the only way you can hope to change it is to understand it. So.
And the bad thing too is that AI is starting to put their name into the game, and they're jacking up a bunch of stuff on history.
Sure.
Well,
oh yeah. Well, and to be honest, it's going to happen. The only variable we can change is you, the consumer.
Exactly.
Understand it. Be smart. Be savvy to it. If it's, do your own research. If someone hands you a document saying this is fact, accept it, and then go look for two other things to dispute it. Because that's what you got to do. And if you can't, then you can trust it as fact.
There you are.
That's really the life we have to do. In the world of convenience, you sacrifice accuracy, and you sacrifice getting it right and getting it done correctly. That is, this is unfortunately the world of media.
If you choose.
Yeah.
If you choose that. But if you choose not to accept what you see as reality and truth, then that's your choice too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying is do your research, do your own, trust but verify. If you find things that you do trust but verify, if your mom tells you your sky is blue, okay, you probably can trust that source. But if CNN tells it to you, maybe go check somebody else. Is all I'm saying.
Or Fox, any one of them. Man, it's like
or Fox or whoever you want to. You tell them you get a couple sources because we just don't live in that world anymore.
No.
I mean, when we were kids, you turn on the news, regardless of what it was, you kind of say, all right, that's the news, and we don't live in that world anymore. And unfortunately, people our age get duped easy because we do have a trust. And then young people, they don't bother to begin with because they don't watch the nightly news and all that stuff, but they do get on social media, and that's the world we live in now. And anybody and their uncle can get on social media and say the sky is blue, and 20 people argue with them.
Yeah.
And that's just the world we live in.
With my audience, I try to give them the utmost facts. And so if I find 5 sources, then I look for 5 more sources.
That's the key.
Because I don't want them to sit there and say, well, now I found this. Well, okay, where did you get that source then?
And then you also deal with, memories change over time. That's how we have our fish stories. And in your world, you do, and Cindy, you do this too, is that, people misremember things.
Yep.
They swore that was blue, but it wasn't. But in their memories, that was blue. And it just wasn't blue. It was red. Sorry, it was red. I mean, we got too much evidence to say it, but I know you, and they're not lying. That's how they interpreted it at that time, and that's.
And so the other part on this cover, like I told Cindy, I found the oldest German flag that was flown in World War II.
Okay.
That was there in France. And once you see the cover, I mean, it is, they've got it in a museum.
That's what started the rabbit hole I got on here was the flag thing, because that's what I love that you do that accuracy, because contrary to popular belief, if you're a fan of the Civil War or study of Civil War, the Stars and Bars was just one of those flags, and it was only for a small period of time. So depending on the years and things, they had different flags and different stuff, and you could paint your little paintings, and you put Stars and Bars all over it. I'm like, this was a little term. They were going with this flag at that time, and kind of so. But again, I love this is that historical accuracy thing we talk about, and getting those details right. And for people that experience or know, when you get those details wrong, it cheapens the experience. And I don't care what he says. When you're looking at a historical thing and you're like, yeah, good job on that one, that's the wrong flag. You know what I mean? That those are the things that do either separate or cement people into the story. Because if they know, it's like, man, they even got the flag right. They really know their business. You know what I mean? That's the difference.
Sure.
And so, yeah.
Sure.
Yep. So that's so important in getting the devil's in the details and that kind of. And it's no different on when you tell your story, right, Cindy? If you're telling a story and then the experience just doesn't make sense, and they're like, yeah, she did her research on that. She knew a lot about it. You know what I mean? Because,
exactly.
If you're talking about experience and someone that knows, like, there's no way they would experience that in that particular situation.
Well, my reputation as a writer, as an author, is at stake. If I tell you something happened when it didn't happen, what are you going to believe of me next time?
Exactly.
Exactamundo. You got a lot more to lose than to gain.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Correct. So we're running short on time, so I definitely want to. But again, what's the name of this latest book here? I know we keep talking about Versailles, but let's kind of do the officials and give the name of the book and where they can find
it. Do you not have a picture of it?
Not
Mike?
handy. I do not. Not handy, no.
No,
Greg?
I don't have it on my phone. I didn't take that picture.
I can send it to you if you want.
Okay, and then we'll add it to the comments in the video side. Yeah, that'll be perfect.
Okay, I'll send it as soon as we're off the phone.
Perfect.
But go ahead and give the title.
The title is Versailles, Vichy, and Le Velodrome d'Hiver. Because the technical title of the velodrome, which was often shortened to Veldiv, is Velodrome d'Hiver.
Okay.
The velodrome of winter.
Okay. I'm all for French, so.
Well, that's my preferred language. That's my preferred language.
I'm very, very, very poor at French. I can do some Spanish poorly, but that's about it. And that does help because it's Latin based. So there's occasion I'll The little Spanish does help with the French a little bit, and vice versa. So, but,
the good words.
Oh yeah,
that's right. Well, yeah, I did learn a lot of French in Bill and Ted's Bogus Adventure when every time Napoleon got mad and he yelled a certain word that I can't say on the radio. But
oh my God,
it's funny because they subtitled it where Napoleon's he's yelling the word and then it's subtitled and I'm like, oh, it starts with an M. You can figure it out from there. So.
Yeah.
A French word?
A French word starts
I know
with
what
an
it
M.
is.
Yeah.
I know what it is.
I figured you would.
I know what it is.
I figured you would. And that's how
well,
I learned some French.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to fluent in French.
Awesome.
So.
Well, but again, you can find the book right now on Amazon. Actually, if you really type in Cindy Sloan Butts in the author search there, and you can see not only this book, but all of Cindy's
the
books.
other 10.
Yeah, the other 10 books.
10.
And not all of them are World War II. They do cover other topics and things. And
mystery.
Mystery. So if you love just a good murder mystery, you'll find a few of those on there too. So
I've even got one for you in Roswell.
Yeah, so you can get Little Roswell. So if you want a little local flavor, got it all there.
There you are.
So pick your first.
In Alamogordo.
Yeah. Yep. So and that's the other thing too. So if you're a New Mexican, you're gonna love because a lot of these landmarks. Again, you write like someone that from New Mexico can understand it and not call BS on it.
Exactly.
Yeah, there you are. There you are.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, Cindy, is there
I'll
any other?
I'll send you the picture.
Excellent. Very much. We do appreciate that here too. Greg, real quick before we go, is there any things that we wanted to get on you or just talking about this book cover? Of course, you can always commission Greg for work here as time permits. He will get to you. I always tell people, look for Greg on Facebook, Greg Birch, 2 G's, Greg, G-R-E-G-G Birch on Facebook, and shoot him a message, and he'll be happy to talk to you about whatever you need done on that.
Yeah, I just...
As long as my work has priority,
there you
that's
go.
great.
As long as Cindy's books are covered, then he'll have time.
That's right. That's right. I've already told her that deal. She comes first.
And I will tell you this, as I know we talk about historical and the different, but Greg paints everything. I've seen him paint cartoon characters. I've seen him paint sports logos. I've seen him paint historical paintings. So I don't think there's a subject he won't touch when it comes to painting or anything.
You name it, and I'll claim it.
There you
go.
But
no, I finished up that one commission piece that was for the mounted patrol.
Mm-hmm.
Got that one to them. Got the pictures posted on Facebook on it. I got this Las Vegas painting coming up, but of course with everything else that's kind of going on in the life right now, I haven't had the
we've talked a bit about your kind of the nerve stuff and all that. So it's still fighting with doctors on that kind of stuff. So in between that is when he's getting his paintings in and getting all
trying
that
to,
stuff.
trying to not make Cindy pull her hair out, saying, "Hey, I need my stuff."
I know you've been dealing with a lot, but you do look good. I know you're probably feeling in pain, but you do look great. So
well, thank you. Thank you.
He's a lean,
this
mean
one
fight
is
machine.
This one's about a quarter done, Greg. My next book is about a quarter done, so just giving you a heads up.
All right. About
So
time to bust the
research.
canvas out and get the books out and doing the dusting. So, well,
right.
Thank you very much, Cindy. As always, thank you very much, and we look forward to the day when you're in Roswell and we get to pop in for a visit. So that'd be good.
Next time. Next time.
And Greg, as always,
I
appreciate
promise.
it. We will look forward to it, and stay warm up there today.
I shall.
All right. Thank you,
Thank
Cindy.
you so much. Greg,
right.
take care of yourself.
I will.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And thank you, Greg, as always, too. We appreciate you. And we'll see you next time here.
Yes, sir.
All right, 9 o'clock, you listen to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico, News in Progress.
Critical fire weather conditions will continue through Wednesday. The Los Angeles County Fire Department is prepared. These winds, combined with low relative humidities and low fuel moistures, will keep the fire threat in Los Angeles County very high.
At least 16 people are still missing. Authorities say that number is expected to rise. Vice President-elect J.D. Vance says not everyone who took part in the January 6th Capitol riot should be pardoned.
We're very much committed to seeing the equal administration of law, and there are a lot of people, we think, in the wake of January the 6th who were prosecuted unfairly. We need to rectify that.
But Vance was also quick to tell Fox News that those who took part in violence during the Capitol riots should not be pardoned, even though those who engage in peaceful demonstration should not be facing charges. The South is finally thawing out, according to correspondent Donna Warder.
The South is slowly warming up after a freezing winter storm cut electricity, delayed airline flights, and shut schools. Snow and ice is melting in southern states, such as North and South Carolina and Georgia. Duke Energy says power has been restored to the Carolinas, where tens of thousands of customers lost electricity over the last few days. Airport officials in Atlanta say all roadways and parking lots have been cleared of snow after about 1,000 flights were canceled on Saturday. Atlanta got about 2 inches of snow. Last week, as much as 7 inches of snow fell in some spots like Memphis, a city that usually sees less than 3 inches of snow a year. I'm Donna Warder.
More from town.
Making America Great Again starts.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply. Best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
A deal to end the Israel-Hamas war could be in reach.
3 officials say U.S. and Arab mediators made significant progress overnight toward brokering a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war and the release of scores of hostages held in the Gaza Strip, but a deal has not yet been reached. The officials say the coming days would be critical for ending more than 15 months of fighting that has destabilized the Middle East.
That is correspondent Charles de la Desma reporting. Sales of all types of electric vehicles rose more than 40% in China last year, even as sales of gas-powered vehicles there saw a big decline. China's exports of passenger cars jumped almost 20% to nearly 5 million vehicles. The China Association of Automobile Manufacturers reports sales were up 4.5% compared to a year ago. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. China's exports in December grew at a faster pace than expected. More on the world's second-largest economy from the BBC's James Wickham.
China says its exports rose by more than 7% last year, with the total value exceeding $3.4 trillion. It's a rare bright spot in a general tale of woe for China's economy, with a weak domestic market being held back by sluggish consumption and a prolonged crisis in the property sector. It seems the recent surge in exports may partly be down to people trying to get ahead of any future tariffs on China imposed by the incoming Trump administration in the U.S.
President-elect Donald Trump has pledged to raise tariffs on Chinese goods and close some loopholes exporters now use to sell their products more cheaply inside the United States. If enacted, those plans are expected to raise prices in America and squeeze sales and profit margins for some Chinese exporters. More of these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travelers said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to our number 3.
Crazy Viernes.
Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday, everybody.
Yes, sir.
It is Monday.
Welcome to it.
Start of the week.
The whole kit and caboodle.
It is a full work week.
It is a full work
Holidays,
and school week.
all that stuff.
Not foreseeing any kind of inclement weather to keep kids home from school this week.
Which kind of made last week kind of a holiday weird
week. It was wonky last week.
The weather and all that. Kind of, oh, here we go, close this, there, that. But all back to normal here this week. Kids are back in school.
Getting the stuff done and, back to semi-normalcy.
Try the roads are fine.
Yep.
But in your neighborhood, you might find a few of those patches that were just not exposed to sun ever.
It was.
And so there's like this sheet of snow or ice sitting on it.
It is funny. There's certain neighborhoods around Roswell. I was in one yesterday, where it's like because of tree cover and because of the way that they're facing, they don't see sun in certain spots at all. There's still literally snow in these people's yards.
Yeah. I had a house, not the one I'm in now, but one before, where it was the sun would just not hit the front yard for a while. And it literally, I'd have snow like a week after everybody else on that one spot. Actually, it was 2 houses.
It's 57 degrees out. How did you have a slip and fall hazard?
Yes.
Well,
Ooh, I figured it out good. But so there might be a little bit of that. Yeah. Sidewalks, if you didn't put the salt down or whatever, you might, that's the ones now is getting from your car, your casa to your car.
Yeah,
that's where people are having it because there's still that patch of ice on the sidewalk or whatever.
And every night it kind of refreezes over. So there's certain spots that have been like fortified. Like ice fortified,
if you throw that salt down, that should keep that from freezing.
But again, there's spots like in alleys and stuff that you're going to find some slippy spots. So just be careful out there.
That's right. Slide.
Chains on the feet.
Slide. That's the shuffle. The old man shuffle. That's the way you go. Just shuffle there, shuffle there. That's how I live my life now.
Yeah. I think over time, like adults start to stand more upright. To where it's easier to slip this way. Because if you think about it, kids, like my nephew, back when, the hoverboards were a big thing, he would literally run down a staircase. It was a 1 staircase, a landing, and then about 5 stairs. And his hoverboard was at the bottom of the stairs. Terrifying safety hazard. He would run down the stairs and literally without touching ground on the hoverboard and just ride away.
Nice.
And that's because teens, young adults, they're usually leaning forward. Their body mass leans forward. I'm 40, you're 50. Our chance of slip and comically falling to the ground increased dramatically with every decade, I feel.
Well, and there's the other thing too. They also fall on their keisters, but it only hurts for a minute for them. For us, it hurts for a month.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of recovery time.
That's the difference is I'm fine, and then you bump or bruise, and then a couple days later you're completely healed. Now I sleep wrong.
Same.
And my neck hurts for a
literally
month.
I was just complaining before we got on the air that I guess I slept on my forearm wrong because I went to shake Greg's hand just a few minutes ago and it actually hurt my arm.
That still makes me mad. About 5 years ago, I literally slept on my neck wrong. And I had to go to a doctor. It hurt for a month before it just went away. And there was really nothing the doctor I was doing. He's like, "You're just getting old, man."
You're just gonna have to deal with it. Yeah.
He's like, "You do some stretches," and I did that. But it just took a month of the medicated pads, the soaking in the tubs, just oversleeping wrong at shoulder. I was like, "Oh, whatever. This is a joke."
But the question is, how were you able to go from consciousness to unconsciousness in that uncomfortable position?
Yeah.
And yet a thought can ruin an entire night's sleep. It's sleep is weird, man.
Well, I felt like last night. It was probably well after midnight before I could finally settle in and sleep. Like I'd lay there and toss and turn. I just the, because usually about 9:30, I'm thinking about bed, and that's when the game ended.
Right.
And I'm just wired.
In
I'm just
any
wired
other
from the
season,
game.
Mike would be defeated and
not this season,
down and just ready to go ahead and call it a day.
I was wired.
Yeah, Mike was riding high last night.
I would have read more stuff about how great my team is.
That is fun. Like after like a thing that goes well for your people, you're like, I just want to jump on onto the infosphere, and just agree with people for a minute.
Yeah, I'm telling salespeople, don't give me work because after the show, I want to sit down and regale in my victory. Look at some of the.
I did some Basque time.
Yes, I need some of that, please.
Professional Basque time.
I need to celebrate my victories and to crush my haters.
Yes. Well, Mike, this brings us to the question: what is best in life?
What is best in life?
To crush your enemies.
That's right.
And see them, what is it? And see them driven before. Yeah, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentations of the women.
There you go.
That's right. Conan taught me.
Yeah, you got to watch too much TV to get.
Honestly, you know what? It was a great movie, and I've seen the clip, I've seen the quote or whatever. The way I learned it, and the reason I had to sing it just now, was because Robot Chicken did a version of Conan.
Okay.
But as a musical.
Okay.
And
so you hear it from that way.
Yeah, the whole part was like, crush your enemies, crush your enemies, and see them driven before you.
The song is the best way to remember things.
It cements in the mind.
Hence, clap your hands, everybody.
And everybody.
That was last hour.
Yep.
But, I remember that because it's in Sing Song.
It's a callback to a callback. It's Inception.
Or if you can do it in a Leslie Nielsen cadence, that helps too.
Mm-hmm. It does.
I'm not kidding, and don't call me Shirley. Speaking.
If you can talk low enough for long enough, people will take you seriously.
I got a segue.
Ooh.
Speaking of Shirley, folks from Roswell Seed are going to have Shirley Gill.
Oh, look at you.
Huh?
Well played.
It's a deep segue, but it's Shirley Gill. You have to know that reference.
We should do a Call Me Shirley reference to a commercial.
You know what? That's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Maybe there's a Don't Call Me Shirley coming up in the Roswell
Once we
Seed
shift from What Would Jim Gill Do, I think we go to Call Me Shirley.
Don't Call Me Shirley.
Everybody from the store.
Kidding.
Don't call me Shirley.
Surely you must be kidding.
Don't call me Shirley. Or call me Shirley.
I'm Shirley. And I'm not kidding.
That's it writes itself. The advertising really writes itself.
There we go. Laying down and slack 'em yak 'em.
Smack 'em yak 'em.
But yes, we do have John and Crystal joining us this morning.
It's
from
therapy day.
That's right, on the show. But John Noble will join us and wife Crystal as well. So we'll talk, get updates, Roswell Seed, and all that good stuff, and talk about grass and planting and all that good thing.
Yeah. They always say touch grass. It all starts at Roswell Seed.
Probably not a lot of planting going on right now.
Well, sure.
Although,
pansies. This is pansy season.
Is it?
Yep.
Do they do it indoors though, and then they bring them outdoors?
No, they're tough plants. They're made for winter weather.
Ah. Okay.
That's right.
I just feel like they start in a plant pot.
Jim Gill taught me that.
That's right. Surely you must be kidding.
Surely you jest. I do not, and don't call me Shirley.
All right, it is 9:15. Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're staying a little cloudy around the Roswell area today with a cold front nearby, cloudy and about 40, and we may get a few snow flurries. Then for the rest of the area, sunny and afternoon highs in the mid-40s for Carlsbad and Artesia. Overnight, a few lingering clouds, our lows in the 20s, and then on Tuesday we'll be in the mid-40s to low 50s, should be sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, I didn't refresh. Let me refresh to get the freshest weather possible. Currently 33 degrees here, all that for 1 degree. Humidity's at 89%. Winds currently out of the southwest at 5 miles per hour. We are looking at a high of 43 today under partly cloudy skies, so some of these clouds will part.
Winds will be out of the south 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 23 degrees. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. Tuesday, sunny, 47 for a high tomorrow. Winds will be out of the north at around 5 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunny, highs near 50. We're going to hit 50. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if y'all want them, they're good. Quail eggs. They all looked at me. I'll eat one for you. They're good. Thursday, we're looking at sunny skies, 56 for a high there. Friday, believe it or not, we're going to hit the 60s, sunny and 63. But then the weekend starts cooling back down, 53 and sunny on Saturday. There is a 20% chance of snow on Sunday, mostly sunny. Otherwise, though, with a high of only 39, so a little cooler. All right, it is 9:16. Let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break, and then we will talk with the folks from Roswell Seed. Don't go away.
Hey, Roswell, Happy New Year. Roswell Ford has a New Year's resolution you're going to love. We resolve to sell more new Fords in 2025, so we're going to make it super fun, super fast, and super easy, just for you. In fact, we'll give you the price we'd give to a friend or family member right up front. So bring us any trade in any condition. Don't even wash it, because at Roswell Ford, all trades are welcome. Making payments on your current vehicle and want out early? We can help. We'll take your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Roswell Ford has partnered with more aggressive lenders, all with great rates and terms for good credit, no credit, and even bad credit, with rates as low as 0% APR. Plus, we have a great selection of low mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Huge savings, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance, plus tax, title, and license with approved credit.
Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency. Auto and home, life and health, personal and commercial. Bonds too, since 1925. We have the coverage for you. Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency.
Artesia General Hospital's Rehabilitation Center is here to help you recover and get back to the activities you love. Rehabilitation services include physical, occupational, and speech therapy, all led by experienced, licensed therapists. From symptom management to patient education, customized home exercise programs, and family support, Artesia General Hospital's integrated approach to rehabilitation is designed to facilitate your best possible recovery so you can get back to work, back to play, and back to life. Learn more at artesiageneral.com/rehab or by calling 575-736-8174.
Are you ready to succeed? The School of Arts and Sciences at ENMU Roswell covers a broad curriculum. The certificates and degrees offered within these programs will prepare students to realize personal, professional, and occupational objectives, from ag science and agricultural technology to behavioral science, biology, bookkeeping and accounting, business administration, criminal justice, education, and mathematics. ENMU Roswell can set you up for success. Register now on campus or online at roswell.enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. Success starts here.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
A snoring partner is more than a rough night's sleep for you. It could lead to some serious problems. Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher at Carabelli Dental. Snoring, stopping breathing, and gasping for air in the middle of the night aren't just a pain for you. It could be a sign of sleep apnea, which can result in a lot more problems for both of you. Luckily, we can help. With our revolutionary oral appliance, you and your partner can breathe easier and get a better night's sleep.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental or call 575-62 4455.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans and options to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second download and upload speed. With Faster, get true 500 megs of download and upload speeds. And with Fastest, you get 1 gig. Learn more at plateautel.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Turtles can breathe through their butts. We imagine you know some people who do that too, because that's where their heads reside. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Roswell Seed Company, John and Crystal Noble with us this morning. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
How's Happy New Year?
Happy New Year, yeah.
Yes, Happy New Year.
I got my handler back. I only got to come one time.
Only one time?
You've come twice. I was sick once.
That's right.
Yeah.
There was twice in a couple months there that, you flew solo. So.
Yeah, short-lived.
But New Year, get you on track, back on track.
No.
There's nothing on track with this man.
I started off my New Year right. Yeah, I pissed her off like day one.
Day one, right after. That was a resolution, actually.
I'm like, resolution number one. He's like, did you make any resolutions? No. Why? Because I don't keep any.
I resolved to keep doing what I'm doing.
Now, I mean, for the people out there, it's not like, I do like.
Sure.
I do.
You just don't make the list.
Stuff.
You don't say,
yeah.
I'm going to lose 20 pounds this week or whatever.
No, and it's not like I woke up thinking, I wonder what I can do to her today to make her mad at me.
I'm sure that's what he thinks about when he wakes up in the morning.
There's a lot of other things that I think about, like...
That's just a side effect.
Yeah, sure. It is. Well, it is. It's not like I think about this.
Okay. So it just comes naturally?
It does. It does.
Okay.
It just flows through the body.
Well, I know you guys were conversing, but Sean and I were talking here, and don't be surprised if Sean hits you with a bunch of airplane Shirley You Must Be Kidding jokes for your next series of ads for the, because we were talking about, because I said a segue, and I said, speaking of Shirley, and I said, Shirley, good. And then he goes, Shirley, because we were doing the airplane thing, and the Shirley You Must Be Kidding, and then so I think he's going to write whole ads on Shirley You Must Be Kidding, Roswell Seed jokes.
Oh, perfect. That's great.
Look for them coming.
God,
that monkey just spawned right here.
Okay. I'm always up for a challenge. Let's go.
Well, we know that's something, that we don't have Jim anymore, but we do want to keep the tradition of having some fun with the marketing and the advertising like Jim used to do over
when we did the last the radio or the TV commercial, the TV ad. I mean, the guy who does it, really cool dude, and he brought us the script, and I was looking at it, and I looked at him, and he was all like, "Look, I know, just do." I was like, "Okay," so like in 10 minutes, like I rewrote it to the throwing of the coal and all this other stuff, and then it was funny because one of the customers came in not too long after that, and he was all like, "Roswell Seed Boys," and I was all like, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, you got back." I don't know, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, Jim Gill, who I refer to as Dad, like pimped me out on like everything. All right? And
there's a phase there.
Yeah, I mean, and there for a while.
Starting with Goliath.
Yeah. I mean, I got sold for a battery for the tractor. I had to do work over at Wakefield, yeah. I got our old tractor running that was at the shop, and the battery was dead, and the Goliath hit, and I was trying to clear everything out, and the battery kept dying, and so I went to Wakefield. They put a battery in. Well, the guy from Wakefield called Dad and told him, "Hey, can your guy stay?" And Dad was all like, he was like, "Look, I'll throw the battery in free if you could come, just have him clear." So I spent like 3 hours down there clearing out Wakefield so they could conduct business, and
Roswell Seed got a free battery.
Free battery. So that's where the term "them Roswell Seed Boys," because it was like I was working on seed tenders, I was working on pumps, I was doing all of this stuff, and it was just you got to just take it over there. Them Roswell Seed Boys will take care of you.
But that's old school business.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And that's kind of obviously we talk about Roswell Seed and 100+ years that Roswell Seed has been a part of this community. That's how business is done, and even to this day, sure, there's computers and modern and all this, but it's still that mindset of companies and people that have been working or using Roswell seed in generations, 100 years as well too. There's other businesses or families that have been around as long. And okay, now it's the grandkid or the great grandkid, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's still there. And we do. I mean, it's like, hey, the shops around us. Hey, can we borrow? We'll send over a guy on a forklift to help them load something or whatever. Or hey,
it's just that neighborly business type thing. It's like, I'll be happy. I'm sure there's a lot of times where, over the years, y'all traded corn for service. You know what I mean?
Pretty much,
People brought in a bushel of corn and said, hey, what can I get with it?
Yeah, I laugh with people about that because they're all like, do you take credit card? And I'm like, yeah. I said, but we don't take chickens and horses in trade anymore. I said, and we will not.
We had to shut that down.
Yeah, we shut that down. And we don't take firstborn because college tuition is just really expensive.
Right.
So we just cut that out.
It's more of a liability.
But, I mean, we always tried, and
but yeah, that's always been, that down country kind of mindset,
And I'll go, there's some people that, hey, can you stop by and look at my yard? And so it's like, we do it for the city too.
Absolutely.
We'll run by for some of the city guys and look at some trees or something. Yeah, this is what's wrong.
Sure.
Blah, blah, blah type of deal. So, I mean, we do that. Not on a regular. Don't get us wrong. But
absolutely,
in times,
it's not, it's not often that, you guys aren't just because people know and you're probably out and about in town and you're over by somebody's house saying, hey, well, I got you here. Look at this tree I got.
That basically,
That's
I've been flagged down before driving. People flag me down. It's like, hey, hey, can you come over? Yeah, okay. And I'll pull over there real quick. And then it usually ends up, I look at whatever it is for like, 5 minutes.
Sure.
but it turns into like an hour and a half conversation.
That's
life, and then the neighbor comes over.
That's southeast New Mexico.
Yeah, so that you end up talking to like 3 people.
Next thing you have lunch and it's a 4-hour affair and nothing got done. Yeah, I get it.
I'm just waiting to I should just bring like a soapbox and just stand up on it. Hear you. All lawn and garden. Type of deal.
And you're like me, like you like to have a conversation every now and then, and the next thing you know, we're there 3 hours and nothing got done. And
phone is just vibrating off. Where you at? You said you were going to be home. So over the years, Crystal has learned that if I say I'll be home in a little bit, it could be 7 hours.
It could be anywhere between now and tomorrow.
Drive by and look. You'll see me. I'm right here. Type of deal. So but yeah.
He has no time reference.
Gotcha.
So if you tell him you got to be somewhere at 9 o'clock, he pays no attention to his watch, no attention to a clock. And then 2 minutes till 9 o'clock, he's like, oh, I got to be somewhere that's 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
I
make it.
No, he does not always.
And I got a smartwatch now.
And this is why he has a handler.
Nice.
Hey, you have a doctor's appointment at 4:30. Okay. 4:32. Hey, didn't I have an appointment today? Yep.
Hence why I got a handler.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have that too.
Yeah.
I get a lot of my pills and take these and do that. Yeah, I my wife is very good at keeping me on task with it.
There's things that are important, and then there's things that really aren't important. Doctor's appointment really aren't important. But somebody's yard or somebody has that's important to me.
I hear
it. Okay. So
until it isn't.
If you want to continue to look at people's yards and be important, you better show up to them appointments.
I hear you, because I'm the same mindset, but at the same time, I'm like, I see what you're saying.
And then, the technology. Okay, so I got this smartwatch now, right? It answers phone calls. Yeah. Okay, so now I look like Mr. Magoo. I'm trying to listen. I can't hear. I'm deaf from war, so I can't hear what's going on. And she's like, Dickie, put your watch on, because every time I call, because I leave my phone on my truck or it's on my desk, or it's never around me, and so I'm sitting there trying to answer, and people are looking at me like I'm, having a fit, hello, hey, it's like, it's like, yeah.
Now you need a black Trans Am, and then you're officially Michael Knight.
Yeah, really, with the cool leather jacket.
Can't pull the car around.
Yeah. We got one the other day. It wasn't the other day, but all the guys, we were all leaving, and she was at work. And so they're all starting their cars, with their remote start. And one of the guys is all like, bet you had a remote start on that old truck of yours, huh? And I said, I got a remote start. They were like, no, you don't, do you? And I was all like, yeah, and I handed the girls. I was like, babe, here, start my truck.
Here's the keys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always laugh because my Jeep, and like people have my keys, I'm like, here you go. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
That's an actual key.
Yeah. It's
Oh, there's no buttons on your key. I was like, yeah, you got to put it in the door.
And unlock it,
Yeah, my Jeep's old school, man.
Yeah. And way back in the day, you had a key that unlocked the door and a separate key that started it.
Yeah, it's like,
You know?
I'm lucky it's only one key.
Yeah.
Usually it was the like a GM, it was usually the round one was the trunk and the square one's your
was
ignition.
Yeah. And the round one opened up the door and the glove box.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I think Ford probably used the same pattern as well, too. I remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Or it may have been
Ford-
reversed, but yeah, there was still two keys.
Yeah. I don't even know. Does my glove box even lock on my truck?
I don't know.
I don't think it does.
The center console does.
I think there is
Oh,
a
it
key
does?
on mine, but I got to look because call me a liar. I haven't paid no much attention, but
I don't know.
I feel like there is a key hole there.
Well, it's weird because a lot of the glove boxes now, like the modern cars, like the second you set the alarm, it locks your glove box.
Ooh, yeah, mine doesn't do that.
Yeah.
No, neither
Or
does mine.
It's like like most of the modern trucks.
Yeah.
Like when it locks the tailgate.
Yeah.
And I was laughing about that one day because we were loading some stuff, and the customer's like, "Oh crap, I got it," and I was all like, "Really?"
Yeah.
I was all like, "You lock your tailgate."
Yeah, I put a
You
key
know?
in it and unlock it. I'm
And-
like, all you have to do is step on the bumper and go over.
Yeah, and I'm all like, "You lock your tailgate," and he was all like, "Yeah," and I was all like, "Dude, come on!" And he was all like, "You know how much one of these tailgates costs?" And I was like, "No." He was like, $3,500. He
Ooh.
goes, "I've had 2 stolen." I was like, "What? A tailgate?" And he was all like, "Yeah," because it's the Ford tailgate with the step, and then he was all like, "It was $3,500 because he had the step and the camera."
Oh, wow.
And he was all like, "Yeah." He was like, "Insurance company paid for one." He said, "I had to pay for the other one."
Wow.
I was all like, "Why don't you just put a regular tailgate
yeah.
on it? Who uses that step? Besides, I mean, one time getting it smashed and you ain't gonna pull it back out.
Yeah.
Sorry, you know."
Yeah, some of these bells and whistles are nice in theory.
Yeah, that's
So
it.
they're
We're
not
having a
practical.
problem right now. Ben's truck came up and I forgot what the sensor that has to be replaced on it, and it's kind of making his truck drive wonky and stuff. And I was laughing. I was like, modern technology is great until something goes out
Right.
on it,
Yeah.
and then here we go. So.
Yeah, that's kind of like my door. I just boop, and then like the window.
Yeah. Oh, I'd
It
love
works.
to have a manual window.
I do. My Jeep does.
Does
My
it?
Jeep's had manual windows, manual locks.
I love manual
I have,
windows.
The only technology in my Jeep that I have I don't even have a nav unit. I have Bluetooth technology, so I can like Bluetooth my phone to listen
Yeah,
to music.
that's kinda what I
That's the only thing I've got in
Yeah.
there. The rest is pretty bare bones.
I have electric door locks
Yeah.
and door windows, but I don't have a remote that controls them.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
don't-
not
I'm-
like it doesn't do. I can't manually. I can't like push a button and
Yeah.
unlock my truck.
It's funny
you know?
because like I go to let my wife in the car, I got to walk around and
Yeah. Everybody looks at me like, oh,
Yeah, it's like chivalrous and
Yeah,
like,
such a gentleman, and it's like, no.
No. Do you know what he does?
Huh.
He gets in, turns the key, and because it's a diesel, he has to wait for the wait start sign. So he rolls the window down so I can reach in and unlock it. And then he rolls the window back up.
I open the door for you most of the time.
Well, see, I would do that,
Most of the
but
time.
I don't have power windows, so I got to reach way over there.
Yeah.
It's just easier to go around. And
Yeah,
open
but
the
you're
door.
taller. You can reach across pretty easy. Not me.
You
I
know
gotta
what?
pull the center
Wait,
divider
I'm
up
about
and then
to
go
say-
across.
The Jeep is not as wide as the truck.
Yeah, Jeep. My Jeep Wrangler. That's the beauty of Wranglers, man. They're tiny.
Tiny,
They're tall
yeah.
but tiny.
Yeah.
I can whip that thing in and out of like. That's what I love it. It's got the big car feel with tiny car drivability.
Yeah.
That's what I love about my Jeep. I
Oh,
can
it's
whip
like-
it in out of parking spaces, but I don't feel like I'm in a little sardine can.
Yeah, I envy you on that one because like we go to like Albuquerque and we be in my truck and it's
Yeah.
like you better move.
Yeah.
Because I ain't gonna make this.
Or
trip,
even
you
in
know?
my big work truck.
Yeah.
Like the turn ratio in his truck is better than in mine. I'm like, I need 4 spots open so I could whip this thing in and like park it somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I love about my Jeep. I can just whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah, she gets all mad.
Yeah.
Like I'm not allowed to drive in Albuquerque.
No.
But unless we're in my truck. If we're
Yeah.
in my truck, she can't drive it in Albuquerque. No, ixnay. But, she's like, you gonna get any closer? They pulled out in front of me. They're going to see big Ford symbol on the back. You better move. If you're getting in front of me, you better be ahead of me going, not
Yeah.
just sit there. Because I'll pick you out of the grill. It don't bother me.
He
I
drives
don't
like he's
care.
in California when he's in Albuquerque.
Well,
Yeah.
it's just the way I drive the same way here. You get all mad. God, can you get any closer? Yeah, guy's got brown eyes. Move.
Well, fortunately, you're good. Speaking of California, your family's all north, right? So
Yeah,
they weren't
we're north
impacted
central.
by all
Yeah.
the,
Yeah,
the
nope,
stuff
so
going
far.
on in L.A. and Southern California.
Yeah, Southern California. I have one cousin that's down in Huntington Beach, but that's still north, I think, of where the fires are.
Gotcha.
It's south of the fires.
Or she's south, but the fires are north of her.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I have one cousin
Out of
down
the
there.
area then.
Yeah, she's out of the area. She called the other night to make sure and stuff like that. That's just a fiasco.
Oh my gosh!
You
Just
know?
seeing that, I mean, it's stuff out of movies, man.
Yeah.
It looks like 2012 and stuff.
Yeah,
it's just
like
crazy.
Apocalyptica. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's very ominous. But
Well, and somebody was flying a drone offshore facing inland, and I guess there's like a carnival or something on one of the piers right outside Los Angeles.
okay,
Possibly.
Santa Monica.
Yeah, something. And like through the big old Ferris wheel, like all you see is just flames, and it was a nighttime view, and it really looks like apocalyptic,
Yeah.
like wartime, like somebody just like
It's like
mass
some Will Smith
bomb.
movie or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
Yeah.
Walking Dead looking
iRobot
thing,
or something.
Yeah.
And then, but I mean, if you're starting to listen, like, all the conspiracy theories and stuff like that, and everything that happened in Maui. I mean, businesses came in right away and, hey, I'll give you so much for this land. They're buying up prime real estate. They're going to rebuild on all that stuff,
Mhm.
And people don't. That's not being narrated right now,
Yeah.
And so
Cleansing
I
of
don't
the
know.
palate, so to speak.
Yeah. You burning down the Palisades. I mean, that back in the day was, that's where big stars still live. I saw a deal where James Woods, he was filming. They evacuated. His house got saved, and his neighbor had filmed. And I mean, the flames were like right there, like they're there.
I've seen a couple of the
Yeah.
like Paris Hilton, her house, and a couple others I've seen it.
Yeah, John Goodman's house got wiped out, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then they said that the fire department has run the water dry through the fire hydrants, that there's no water.
There's no water.
Yeah.
And the winds were so bad that they couldn't send the helicopters or planes to go like fuel from like the
there was
ocean to
some
bring it in.
Gross negligence going on.
Big time. And now they're saying that there's guys dressing up as firefighters going in and looting houses.
I'm hearing there's arsonists and looters and all
Yes.
kinds of unsavory
It's
types
like,
doing their
how
thing.
low do you have to be, to
Well,
break in?
just like the floods here, people were looting inside people's homes when they were.
That's true.
There's always those people that take advantage of, in those situations.
Yeah.
And profit from the misfortune of others.
It is.
We got bees.
Oh, is it bee season or bee time?
We have bee order forms.
So for all you bee folks, now's the time to order your bees.
Yeah.
Bee weekend is the first weekend in April, so
Okay.
we will be picking them up on the 4th of April, driving back, and then handing out
So,
the 5th.
if one of your goals in life or maybe a resolution was, I want to grow my own honey, now's the time to learn the process and see if this
Did you
is
already
something
said
for you.
Grow his own.
Grow your own honey.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We got you. See, I didn't have to correct him.
Yeah.
No,
I'm a man.
I
don't
just
have.
laughed
I
the way
I
he
understood exactly what.
Yeah.
See,
I laughed
technical.
what he said.
Technical. Yeah. So technical about
Grow
stuff.
your own bees.
Grow your own bees.
To produce your own honey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's
I
not
know.
like-
I just laughed because he said grow. Grow.
Grow.
Well, they do
It was
grow.
just funny.
You grow them in size, technically. I mean, if I want to get technical, I just
But
yeah.
if you want your own honey that you didn't buy at a store,
Right.
this is the time to order. Now, if you don't know anything about it, maybe pick some brains, because really, you guys, that's how you guys did it, right? Did you
Yeah.
literally like just kind of say we want to have our own bees and our own honey?
No. It was Dad had done bees for years in the
Okay.
valley, and it was him and Mr.
So they
Long
got you
and
got
Mr.
into
Mason
it.
were
Okay.
were the three bigs, and so yeah, it was just I got kind of like thrown into it, like hey. So I had Jim to learn from, but he was old school, so a lot of it was like try it, see what happens. It's
Sure.
like yeah, okay.
So it was a little trial and error.
Yeah.
and you probably had a few bad batches or
Oh,
a few
yeah.
bad issues before you finally figured it out.
Yeah, and like I always said, because people get mad. It's like, well, I bought bees and then they swarmed. Okay, some other nature. Yeah, but still, and I tell them, okay, just think of it this way: 98% of the population of bees are women. There you go. I don't have to say nothing else. Right there. Okay, so she's getting the look, but she knows as well as I know. Sarah, what? Don't look at me in that tone of voice.
So, what we try to explain to people is where we pick the bees up from in Navasota, Texas, is like the Garden of Eden. The weather is humid there.
So you're saying they come out here and they're cranky? 'Cause
Oh,
they're
yeah,
like,
give 'em
so they
14
go
days.
from
Yeah.
the Garden of Eden to hell.
yeah, they kind of said dude, this is not what I signed up for.
Right.
Yeah, I got
So we try to tell people, recreate a shady area that's got lots of flowers or things for them to pollinate on surrounding them.
Gotcha.
So you help entice them to stay.
You got to create the environment for them to want to go out and pollinate and by default make honey.
Yes. And then if you don't create that, they might stay, they might not stay, but...
AKA, what makes your wife happy? That's going to make the bees happy. There you go.
Gotcha.
Simple.
So-
Except for jewelry and a new car. Other
So a
than
lot
that,
of flowering, wildflowers, things.
You
all
know,
that stuff.
Mozart, talk to them. Yeah, bring them flowers every once in a while.
But
Tell them they look good.
happy
in the
bees
dress.
make good honey.
Yeah, happy
They do.
bees
They
make
really
happy
do.
honey. So yeah, it is an environmental change for them. Coming
and like you said, it is a learning thing. Like it's raising bees is like no other thing. Like everything else in the world, practice makes perfect. You want to be good at growing a plant, you gotta burn a few bridges to get to what you need to do.
And there are deals out there. Don't get me wrong. I mean, a couple of years ago, I think Big R was having this great deal where you buy the hive and blah blah blah,
like
and
a whole kit kind of thing.
And that was
the beekeeper starters kit.
Yeah,
kind of
more
thing.
or less. Yeah, I mean, it was fully loaded. But most of the bees were dead by the time they arrived, and it's just nature of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, you're sending stuff through mail. Well, there you go.
Put it this way, they put you in a box and shift you.
Shift you around.
See how your status is when you're at your destination.
Yeah.
Where you guys actually go to Texas, there's a whole rigmarole and transport the bees back so that they aren't going through the mail or any of that stuff.
No.
And if anybody
These are
wants
coming
to learn,
from the farm here.
Yeah, anybody wants to learn anything about the bees, they can go. Bee Weaver has a website. They can go on Bee Weaver. They can look at everything that goes on and stuff like that.
They have videos.
Yeah, they have videos. That's the bees we pick up from.
Yeah.
And
you guys do sell everything you need to kind of get your own hive started. Your own,
The only thing that we don't have are bee jackets.
Okay.
Like
but
the
we
complete
have
suits.
the complete
beekeeper
suit.
suits, basically.
We have hat, veil, gloves.
Okay. And to be honest, you don't need all that.
Exactly. Yeah.
As long as it's keeping the bees calm, the smoke. That's the whole suit. That's a little overkill.
Yeah.
If now if you're going into some kind of wasps or something like that, then you need that.
Well,
but honeybees, you're fine.
If you're managing 5 or more hives, then a coat and veil is great.
Well, then you're dealing with lots
of bees. Yeah. I tell the people, we're gonna get this, and we're gonna get this, and then we want, and I'm telling them stop. This is what you want to start out with, and they're looking at me like, well, I want that. You want that, but you still have to get through phase 1 to be able to get to phase 2.
And let's be realistic here on amounts too. Like if you've got say one box with your, would you say an average start?
Yeah.
Like what kind of honey output should one expect from that if all variables are perfect? What's the average output of something like that?
At least 30 pounds of honey.
30 pounds in a season.
Probably 60. If you're ideal, you'll get 2 harvests.
So that's
It'll
quite
be
a
about
bit,
60.
actually.
That's a lot of honey.
Now, that's perfect conditions.
Right.
We're not factoring in that you've never raised bees before, you've never do anything like that. Now we start getting into that, and you're like, so that number might get down to where you only get 5 or 10 pounds that first year. But you learn the experience.
And most everybody, they always say the same thing. Oh, I'm not going after honey. Okay. I just want bees to pollinate everything. Okay.
Great.
So this is, once you get past the initial stage, there's a split. Which way do you want to go?
Gotcha.
Are you going after honey or are you going after more bees?
Sure.
And then off of more bees, then you can start doing, variable other things.
Is it a type of thing where you can kind of sort of do that, or you have to commit one way or the other? Because if you don't constantly contain it and clean it out, it's a problem. Or if you just let it alone and do its thing, it's fine. But
let alone and do its thing, it's fine. I mean, bees have been around for thousands and thousands of years.
Could you kind of semi-do it and you say, I want to kind of do it, but every once in a while I'm going to clean that thing out and get some honey.
Yeah.
So you can.
Okay.
So bees naturally are extremely neurotic about the cleanliness of their hive.
Wife.
So when bees are going through their stage in cleaning, so basically if you're going to make more bees, but then you decide you want to harvest some of the honey too, there's certain times you can do it.
Gotcha.
And if you don't do it within those certain times, you're going to take away their food source because they live throughout the winter.
Gotcha.
They just stay in the hive.
Yeah, they're not doing this to make you honey. They're doing this to keep themselves alive.
Right. So, like in the winter months when they cannot fly, like today, the sun is not out. So it's out, but they can't tell the direction of the sun, so they're not out flying. So they use the honey that they've made to survive on and keep the queen fed and then the larvae fed when the larvae hatches, because all the queen does is breed.
Sure. And then if I remember from past conversations, bees have different jobs.
Yes.
Not all the bees go out and collect honey.
No.
Not all the bees. Some of the bees got jobs in the hive doing things and they're doing their stuff. And
so from
some
day
have
one,
to feed the collective here,
Right.
so to speak. You know.
So a bee's job changes throughout the stage of its life.
Mm-hmm.
So the end of its life is pollinator. So the last thing it will do before it dies is be the pollinator.
Gotcha.
So at some point in the stage of that bee's life, it will be the queen keeper and taking her food, taking her water that other bees are bringing in that they
Gotcha.
collect from.
Excellent. And this actually all goes on in a relatively short period of time.
It really does. 39 days.
Yeah, the lifespan of the bees and things aren't necessarily, they don't live 50 years and all
No.
that stuff. They can, you know,
And if they don't get fed or watered correctly, they get angry. Wife.
Yeah.
And they get hangry. Honey, angry. Hangry.
You get near it and they start getting
Wife.
more aggressive, defensive. And,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and if
defending
you're,
of their home.
Yeah.
they do. And so
And heaven forbid if you change something. Oh my God.
if you have one hive and you really just want it for pollination and in the winter months, because we don't have stuff for them to pollinate on, if you're going to feed them, and you're doing the sugar water, feeding them with the feeder, and just stand around your hive occasionally, like every, 5-6 days. So that way the bees that are out buzzing around will get used to your scent.
Gotcha.
And then when they
You're
take
part
your
of the
scent
normal
back in,
routine,
you
yeah.
are. And so therefore, when you actually go to extract honey,
You're not a
they're
threat.
not worried that you're a threat. They're
Yeah.
not going to swarm you.
It's just like your dogs and cats and everybody else at the Humane Society. Here.
Yeah.
You got to establish a relationship.
Right.
Now, don't be going in there petting bees, but,
Why?
just hanging. I mean, I guess you could, but
I do.
I wouldn't
She
recommend.
does.
I mean,
I do.
Yeah,
I'm
she
a
goes-
wife.
She goes in and talks to him. Hi, girls.
look,
Yeah.
you do you if you want to do it. I'm
Yeah.
not going to be petting no bees.
Yeah.
But,
Look,
she'll go over there and talk to the bees.
Look,
and,
when you are a planter at home, they always tell you talk to your plants, involve them in your rituals.
But I ain't petting them.
So you're dusting your plants off. You're petting your plant. The bees, you want honey from them. So
Yeah.
when they land on you, you talk to them and then you pet them, and then they fly away.
I don't know. I'm
Or when there's a whole bunch of babies in somebody's suit and he's trying to shake them off and give them shaken baby bee syndrome.
There's no such thing.
There possibly is.
Hour and a half, baking sun. She was pulling baby bees out of my suit. When all I could have done was just take it and shaking it, and they would have, oh no, I have become Bee Central 101. I know what I'm doing. Of course, she's letting the bees out, and then they're flying right back into my suit. But, yeah. And I'm sitting there trying to explain it to her, and, yeah, wife.
But
it's fine.
The point is,
that's great. Yeah.
Now's the time to order bees.
It is.
They'll be picked up in April here, but between now and so, if you're interested, come on by Roswell, see it here.
Prices have pretty much stayed the same-ish. The package of bees are the same.
Okay.
The nukes or the
nukes and the queens.
And the queens did go up in price. And for people real quick, nukes is an established colony.
Okay.
So when you pick up a nuke, the queen is already released. They're already making larvae
Gotcha.
and stuff like
They're
that.
in the process.
They're-
you don't have
yeah.
to reintroduce people.
Right.
or-
It's kind of a plug and play.
Gotcha.
So you just take them.
All the
and,
prep
you know,
work's been done to,
more or
to
less,
make
yeah.
honey, get
Yeah.
the hive right.
So that's they're more expensive.
But if not, you're going to have to get your queen acclimated to the hive, and sometimes that goes well,
Goes
sometimes
well,
it doesn't.
Sometimes
Just
it does
depends
not.
on,
No,
you know.
it's like when you introduce your wife to your home, and she goes in and cleans. Everything is gone. It's like, where's all my stuff? Yeah. And then brings in her stuff. Her stuff outnumbers my stuff by about 23 totes. So, isn't it unique how wife and life rhyme? Whoa. I'm on it. And I've only had one cup of coffee.
You didn't even have a whole cup.
I didn't. No. I only had a couple of sips. So yeah, bees. We're back in the bee business again.
Okay. So come on by.
If you don't have any idea, start researching, because it is not a cost-effective hobby. If the bees swarm unfortunately, that's Mother Nature. Can't do anything to make them come back. But it is not cheap to get started. And then if you really like it and do really well, it's not a cheap hobby to stay into.
Sure.
So research it before you just go all in. And
this isn't on a whim kind of thing.
No.
You need to do your homework. You need to ask
it is
your
a commitment.
questions.
Once you start it, you do need to stay committed into taking care of them and maintaining their environment around them.
But if you love fresh honey and you love putting in the work and energy, then you're going to probably be rewarded with some really cool stuff.
See, happy wife. Yeah, same goals in life.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
Or
I've heard
do it.
yeah.
Do what I
Happy
do
house,
and just
happy
have friends
spouse.
that have bees and just
There you
glom
go.
off
Yeah,
their
it's a lot
stuff. That's
easier.
the way it is.
I tell people that all the time too. You start off with this, you're gonna have friends you didn't even know you had.
That's right. Yeah.
It's like us. I mean, when we harvest our honey, like 10% off the top is towards. And I'm like, what? Whatever. I could sit there. And
We have
argue,
friends.
but
Hey,
it's
will
like,
you put me a jar aside? Will you put me 4 jars aside?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you gotta worry about the greedy ones. I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
You
you're
want
gonna
that
start-
kind of quality? You start
Yeah.
growing your own dang.
Yeah, you're gonna start. You're gonna start paying. Or
Yeah,
something.
right?
You know.
It's like you need. Yeah, exactly. At this point, this is business.
Yeah, basically. So I mean, yeah, we got the bees going. Also, we are looking for help.
Oh, help wanted.
Help wanted
All
at
right.
Roswell Seed. Yes. So
We can be a Roswell Seed boy.
Yeah, come be a
Or
Roswell
girl.
Seed boy. Yeah.
Or girl.
Nobody. We kind of say nobody under the age of 25, only for the simple fact is not to be mean or whatever.
A maturity thing.
Basically, yeah. I mean, we
The
need
frontal
somebody
lobe
that's
is
going to be
developed.
It's not like it's a hard job. It's not.
Right.
But you have to be there every single day, and you
There's
have
a
to put in your
commitment, there's
work.
a responsibility.
Yeah. So we've had now three under the age of 25 that just did not work out. One that was over the age of 25 that did not work out. So it takes a special kind of person, So come down, talk to us, see what you guys think, And I want to hear about. Well, my son needs a job. No, because they're there for, and if they have no work experience, it's kind of tough. We can kind of judge people, engage them on how we talk to them and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we are looking for somebody.
Great.
Mechanical,
the right person. This could be leading to quite a a lucrative good job working with the great working.
We're not corporate in any way, shape, or form.
It's a family
we're
business.
Not, it is.
That's what it is. It's a family business.
So when you have hey you got kids or whatever. Hey, my daughter has a thing in kindergarten. Yeah, go.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Yeah.
We're not going to sit there and make you fill out 5 forms and you got to tell me a weekend. No, because I don't even know what the hell I'm doing a week from now.
Right.
Don't tell me a week from now, because you remember I told you?
I imagine if it's like big stuff that's like, hey, we're going on vacation this summer.
that's
Put that
different.
in.
Yeah.
Don't be like, but if you got your doctor's appointment or whatever, or kid's soccer deal or
It's
whatever,
not-
you do that.
It's not a horrific place to be.
Sure. It's a family business.
It
and,
is.
Some days you bust hump, and then there's days you get to, enjoy and play a little bit.
Yeah.
Just depending on the workload.
That's basically. I mean, and we all do. It's pretty light environment. Yeah. We cut up and joke up every single day. We don't take things serious. You can't in life, and we know that. So we do some pretty outlandish things sometimes. Couple of times.
They walk on a fine line.
Depending on whose line. Our line really isn't that fine. Our line's actually pretty damn wide. So, it's like, she always said, you're walking on a fine line. Well, whose line? My line looks great. So, wife. What else? We got geraniums are coming in.
Okay.
So they're being planted. So everybody will have beautiful geraniums come springtime.
All right.
So
Until
typically
then, don't
when
ask. It's like
typically geraniums are ready a week or two before bee week.
Okay.
But bee week is early this year. So
They might be the
geraniums
same time.
might be the same time.
So look for that first part of April.
End of March, first part of April.
Yeah.
But not before then.
So, because our greenhouse guy, he's patiently standing by waiting, because he's got to take them, transplant them, and then, because they just come in, they're just starts.
Sure.
They're real
So they're
small.
probably in a greenhouse somewhere, incubating or doing what they do.
and then coming in. Yeah, so we do have that coming up.
We still have some fall bulbs.
Yeah, we still have some fall bulbs left for the people that want to plant bulbs now, so to have them come up in spring.
Okay.
Let's see what else.
But you probably need to plan them
pretty quick.
Pretty quick if you want them for this spring.
Lawn winterization, a little late, but you can still get it done. It's not a problem.
Okay.
Throw the stuff down to help your lawn.
Well, it
and
seems
stuff.
like winter started a little late this year.
It did, way late.
It feels like it got cold. It got cold
real quick.
But it was like December before I started feeling it. You know?
The biggest weeds that are coming into play right now are it's called prickly lettuce. That's what the floods brought in. Everybody's dealing with it. Even, so we do have a spray that'll take care of that. It's not a big deal. We got you covered on that end of it.
Okay.
Some flooding brought in some pretty interesting
weeds.
Things. Yeah. And again, it's different all over the city. I mean, north side's dealing with one.
Sure.
East and west are kind of dealing with
depending where the water started and where it pushed
ended,
it to, and it just pushed things from one end to the other. And I'm going to guess things from the north went south.
More or less, yeah.
We have a new weed out at our house, and we're way east.
Okay.
Yeah. Like our pasture where our horse is at, it looks like lush green field. No, it's weed.
Yeah.
It's a weed that's about that tall, that big around, and it just grows in clusters all around. And he's like, our horse is very spoiled, so.
Wife.
Yeah. So when he sees something new, he's like, no, that's not my normal.
Not a fan.
No, he's not a fan. No.
Oh, well.
He's got to have the special food. He's got to have the whatever.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Can you be like when you try to get a dog to take the pill, can you put it like some cheese on it or something?
He has pill pockets for horses, and then you stick it in the pill pocket.
Okay.
And it's a molasses and oats. And Jim Gill got him started on that, so don't blame me.
Yes. Stud muffins. Yeah, it's horrible.
Maybe we can put some of the weed in.
I have a 2,300-pound lap dog.
Yes. He's old, and he deserves to be spoiled.
Yeah. Like me?
Yes, and you are spoiled.
Yeah, but I earned it.
So did he.
How?
He left me.
He left you?
He loved me.
He bit you.
That's love.
Yeah,
you bite me all the time.
I said my cat's kicked my butt several times, but I still love on it.
Yeah.
So,
You bite me quite regularly. I still love you.
That's part of the contract.
But
it was in the fine print. You did not read it.
Oh, dang. I just saw the time.
There's a lot of new weeds out. So take a picture of it, bring it by. So
we can get
they have a chart to compare
take
it
a
to.
look and
So to figure out what to do to kill it.
So if you're seeing those now, come on down, and then we'll find the right killer to take care of that.
Yeah, we got you guys covered.
Yeah. And that's just it. Come bring questions, take pictures, bring photos. If you don't, the more information you can bring to the folks at Roswell Seed, the better they can kind of triage and take a gander at what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
So
we try.
Good deal. So come on down, Roswell Seed. Same place it's been for the last 100 years downtown here.
127 years this year.
Right in the heart of downtown.
Heart of downtown.
Yep.
If anybody has pictures of Roswell Seed back when it was Roswell Seed and the grocery store, because everything in Remembering Roswell that people are posting is from 2nd Street North.
Okay.
They're not posting anything from 2nd Street South.
You might want to give a talk to the historical society.
We've already drained them.
Oh, nothing there?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
we got everything we could from them.
Okay,
It's just people that coming up like, hey, we're cleaning my grandpa's attic and we found this. It's like, whoa, where's that?
So
type of deal. So
if anybody has any that they'd like to share, I'm on the Remember Roswell Facebook page.
Okay.
So I'd like to see some of those photos so we can maybe blow them up and have them added to the group.
Collage of
The
pictures
collage.
that we have.
Yeah, so
we
if you
have
got some photos,
We have
please.
some pretty old pictures up at the shop.
Excellent.
Yeah.
See, just again, if you can help out, that way we can kind of keep our nostalgia going. and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
yeah,
Keep
it's
the
pretty
history
neat.
going.
Remember winter hours, Saturdays are now half days at
Half-days.
noon.
That's right.
But
Yeah.
Monday through Fridays, 8 to 5.
Excellent, and that'll could probably continue for probably to what, spring here, maybe March.
It's going to be a
April?
little bit sooner than spring.
Okay.
As soon as we can get another person in.
Okay, so maybe next month here.
Possibly, yeah.
Okay.
We're going to be going back to normal hours. We're kind of behind. We've had some machinery problems, and now we're down personnel problems. So we're playing catch up. We should be done with some stuff that we haven't even got accomplished yet. Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Well, again, if you are looking, come by and
Yeah.
fly in person.
Yeah, it's the easiest. It's the hardest and easiest application you'll ever fill out.
There you
I
go.
think there's like 5 questions.
There you go.
Yeah, I think it was made in like 1930.
And one of them is how many fingers, Mo?
Basically, yeah. I told him I'm going to get that. You know, the square peg and the square. Yeah, I'm going to get that. If you can pass that test, hey, you're already ahead of the game.
That's problem solving skills
Yes,
right there.
indeed.
So,
Yeah.
good deal.
So-
Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
We'll see you here next time.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, it's 10 o'clock. That's going to do it for us. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. Have an amazing day, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Of dangerous weather with the return of strong winds this week.
Wind gusts of as much as 70 miles per hour are possible over the next few days. The fear is embers could move to unburned territories miles downwind. LA Fire Chief Kristen Crowley says they're focused on 2 things.
Containing the fires and saving lives and protecting property.
Audio from KABC. The fires have killed at least 24 people. Thousands of homes have been destroyed.
That's correspondent Ed Donahue. Also at townhall.com, TikTok users in the U.S. are waiting for a Supreme Court decision. It could shut down